swollen, but it's still very painful. McMahon lifts his teammates out there during the game because he's so tough, dirt tough. I mean, this guy fights. He refused to quit, and he's just going to help this Philadelphia team maybe make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, maybe indeed. The Cincinnati Bengals have all sorts of problems. They won only one game. The defense can't stop anybody, and yet the focus of the team still the quarterback, Boomer Esiason.
Boomer Esiason's playing not as well as he has in the past, certainly, but it's not all Boomer's fault. It's my opinion that he's still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He just needs a lot more help from his teammates, namely his defense.
Well, you know, this is a big game for the Eagles of Philadelphia because after losing 4 in a row at one point, they're right back in the middle of the playoff hunt for a wild card berth. In fact, Rich Kotite says we're right in the middle of the race.
Well, they go on the road for 3 straight games after this and play teams with a combined record of 33 and 18. So if the Eagles are to make the playoffs, they're going to have to earn their way.
And ready to kick off. The Bengals will kick it to the Eagles. There's Lee Johnson set to kick off with Harris and Sherman deep. And Harris will take it midway in the end zone and down it there. So the Eagles will have the ball first, and Jim McMahon and company on the field. This offense 23rd in the NFL. Rookie tackle Antone Davis, a first-round choice, has had problems but is improving. Playing hurt, McMahon has hit 63% of his passes, 9 TDs, 6 interceptions. Rookie Joseph, a 7th-round draft choice, has emerged the last 2 games to boost the run. Barnett is the top receiver. And the Eagle ace formation brings in Johnson for 2 tight ends. First down for McMahon at his own 20-yard line. The Eagles a record of 5-5 and still hoping for that wild card berth. Byers and Joseph behind McMahon as Williams goes in motion. Straight ahead, Byers. Keith Byers blasts across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Byers with a 17-yard run on first down.
What a nice hole on the left side of the offensive line. 62, Dennis McKnight gets out on the linebackers. The center stays with the nose tackle, Crum Ryan. Byers, I tell you what, he gets these kind of holes the rest of the day. Forget about it. This is one-sided. Already that 28th ranked defense of Cincinnati is looking like it.
Byers only averaging 3 yards a rush, reels off 17 on the first carry, the longest run for him this year. This will be Joseph, picks his way forward and turned what appeared to be a no-gain play into a gain of about 4. Let's take a look now at that Cincinnati defense, which is last in the NFL. Crumry heads the defensive line. Francis leads the team in tackles, and Colorado All-American Alfred Williams, a first-round draft choice, starts at outside linebacker. Fulcher, the top tackler. Haddock starts in only his 2nd game since being obtained on waivers. Dixon and Billups enter the nickel lineup for 6 defensive backs. And there is Dick LeBeau, who is the beleaguered defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals, the last-rated defense in the NFL. McMahon with his first pass of the day. Complete to Barnett. Barnett, the Eagles' leading receiver, catches his 40th pass of the season. It's good for a Philadelphia first down, a gain of 18.
Fred Barnett just pushes 45. Haddock's back, breaks to the inside of the zone, and then Haddock's closes. I could see the Eagles working on Haddock's today because he's new with the team. Looks like McMahon's throwing motion's in good shape. You see, he doesn't even back off his throw. That's excellent blocking up front by McMahon's offensive line.
And there's a look, too, at big Keith Jackson in the foreground and Jim McMahon, the inspiration of this Eagle team. Fred Barnett told me yesterday he was going to try to pick on Wayne Haddock's. He just did for 18 yards. McMahon dumps it to Joseph in the flat. Blockers in front on the screen, and Joseph has a first down close to the 30-yard line of the Bengals. Knocked out of bounds there by Leo Barker after a gain of 11.
Well, I tell you, Fulcher, the strong safety on the right side, 33, doesn't come back to make the play. I think he actually gets hurt on this screen pass. There's 33 on the ground right in front of you. He's supposed to be in that area, but I believe he hurt himself. That's really what opened up this nice gainer.
Boy, that would really be a blow to the Cincinnati defense, which is already struggling. Top tackler David Fulcher is injured. We'll take a break as the Eagles continue their drive. David Fulcher, number 33, sitting on the bench there after walking off the field. Apparently just twisted his ankle or knee without being hit. He's replaced by Ricky Dixon. Ace formation here for the Eagles. 2 tight ends, Jackson and Johnson. First down play. Hand to Joseph. Joseph to the 25-yard line. Gain of about 5 yards for the rookie from Auburn, who has emerged the last 2 games to lead the ground attack. Leo Barker makes the hit for Cincinnati.
Right now, these Eagles are doing exactly what they've set out to do. Rich Kotite, the head coach, said, we want to get this team down early. Give them a chance to maybe quit if that's in them. He doesn't believe they're quitters, but give them a chance anyway. And right now, this first Eagle drive is kind of setting the tone that Rich Kotite once said.
Mixing run and pass. The Eagles have driven all the way inside the 25 of the Bengals. Again, the ace 2 tight end formation. And to Joseph. Hit at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a yard as Alonzo Mitz met him shortly after he took the handoff. Alonzo Mitz, in his 5th year out of Florida, signed as a free agent by the Cincinnati Bengals this season, starting his 7th game today after coming to Cincinnati in week 2 of the season.
Well, Alonzo would like to play more. You see him leaving the field right now. Alonzo feels that he's an every down player, and he'd like the opportunity to get out on the field more and rush the passer. He knows these Bengals have only sacked opposing quarterbacks 10 times, and he feels like he could contribute in that aspect.
3rd and 5, nickel defense for the Bengals. 3 wides for the Eagles. Barnett, Williams, and Green. Barnett wide left. McMahon pumps once, delivers for the end zone. Oh, Keith Jackson was wide open in the pass. Just a little bit too long and perhaps to the wrong side.
Oh, Keith Jackson put a post move down, then broke to the corner and just left the safety, Barty Bussey. And oh my goodness, what a move that was. Beautiful move, just an overthrow that time. Cincinnati's fortunate.
So McMahon overthrows on a potential touchdown, and Ruzek is on to attempt a field goal. Feagles will hold. Ruzek has hit 18 of 21 this year. His longest has been 48. This one will be 42 yards. Blocked and recovered by the Bengals. Feagles finally makes the tackle on Mitchell Price, who blocked the field goal and picked it up on the fly. Price with a big play for the Bengal defense.
Excellent surge by these Bengals, and coming off the corner appeared to be Eric Thomas making the block, and now it's recovered. We'll be back right after these messages, folks.
By Starter. Look for the stars and you'll find Starter. By Coors Light, the Silver Bullet is the right beer now. By Old Spice Fragrance and Aftershave. Cool, crisp, and unmistakably masculine. Old Spice. And by Mitsubishi, bringing you a full line of award-winning automobiles. Mitsubishi, the word is getting around.
Cincinnati Bengals, after a big play by their special teams, Mitchell Price and Eric Thomas combining to block the field goal and return it into Eagle territories. Bengals with the ball for the first time. And Boomer to pass on first down. And the pass incomplete, but flags flying as bodies were colliding. So Tim McGee, the intended receiver, covered by Izell Jenkins. And Jenkins, replacing the injured Ben Smith, figures to be the man the Bengals will focus on today.
Well, Izell has started for these Eagles in the past, but he's played him way.
Defensive pass interference, number 46, first down.
But he played his way out of position, and Ben Smith, you might say, earned it. Certainly Weiss would like to work on the new cornerback out there, and you see Jenkins will arrive just before the ball got there and hit the receiver, and that's clearly pass interference.
Izell Jenkins called for the pass interference. Bengals with a first down at the Eagle 35. Boomer rolls, delivers, it's complete. Gain of about 8 or 9 yards. Finally knocked out of bounds Mike Barber with his first reception of the day.
Eric Thomas lined up right there in the circle, shoots off the corner and blocks the field goal. Leaves his feet. 32 on the top of the screen. Michael Price gets to the ball just before Feagles does. Big play by the special teams. Marv Albert. Hey, Marv. Marv Braden is the special teams coach of the Cincinnati Bengals.
Well, Marv does work a lot.
Yes, he does.
coaching too. James Brooks, first carry of the day for Brooks, didn't get much, maybe a yard. Here's that Cincinnati offense. It's ranked 8th in the NFL. We'll take a look at the starting lineup. And up front, Anthony Munoz in his 12th year has been to 10 straight Super Bowls. Joe Walter tries to handle Reggie White today. Boomer completed a career-high 32 passes against Pittsburgh last week. Mike Barber replaces injured Eddie Brown. Ickey Woods for Harold Green. Eric Caddis for Rodney Holman. The Bengals will use their Tiger formation. That's 2 tight ends, Caddis and Riggs, lined up in the backfield.
10 straight Super Bowls, Tom.
I say Super Bowls?
Yeah,
Pro
I know
Bowls.
what you meant. Pro Bowls, sure.
He wished it was Super Bowls, doesn't he?
All of these Bengals wish there was some kind of Super Bowl in the lining.
Munoz in his 12th year and 10 straight Pro Bowls. Boomer for the end zone. McGee can't hold it. Seth Joyner trying to cover Tim McGee. McGee was behind him, but couldn't hold on.
Well, he's going to run a post pattern and break to the inside of Jenkins, but I tell you what, the ball hangs up. It wasn't released cleanly by Esiason, and McGee nearly makes the circuit catch. But Boomer's going to have a little better protection the rest of the day as Joyner gets in there late and gives Boomer later a little jolt. You know, those jolts add up toward the 3rd and 4th quarter.
So it's 3rd and 8 for Boomer as Joyner did give him a shot. And they continue to pick on Isaiah Jenkins. That time McGee tried him, but the pass incomplete. Boomer dumps it complete. McGee to the 10. Tackled there by Wes Hopkins, but it's a Bengal first down after a gain of 13.
Well, Boomer would love to have McGee on the linebacker, William Thomas, all day long. You'll see number 51 make a play for the ball here, but there's no way you're going to have a linebacker keep up with number 85, folks. Just impossible. Big 3rd down play for these Bengals.
McGee beating the rookie linebacker, William Thomas, and it's a Bengal first down. They haven't been that productive inside the 20 this season. That's been one of their problems, along with turnovers, key mistakes. Try to take an early lead here, though, on the Eagles. Brooks. James Brooks to the 4-yard line. Straight ahead behind that big offensive line. The tackles Walter and Munoz, and Eric Caddis, the tight end, with a good block there. That Philadelphia defense is best in the NFL. And can you name a better defensive line? Pro Bowlers White and Brown are great. Simmons has 9 sacks. That's 2nd in the NFL. Joyner having a fine year. In the secondary, Waters leads the team in tackles. Allen, a former Pro Bowl player. Jenkins replaces the injured Ben Smith. The Philly nickel with 6 defensive backs. Incomplete on that pass for the end zone. Mike Barber. And there is a penalty marker down.
But this is one of the reasons the Bengals have struggled. It appeared to me Boomer Esiason delivered that ball perfectly that time under some heavy pressure, and Barber just didn't hold on to it. Looks like it's going to go against these Eagles, Tom, which would be a big penalty for Cincinnati.
Illegal hands to the face. Number 20 defense. First down.
Well, Andre Waters, Rich Kotite's starting strong safety, has drawn a lot of criticism sometimes for his penalties and his over-aggressive play. That was a big infraction there. Hands to the face, and the Bengals have it now 1st and goal from the Eagle 2-yard line.
Again, the Bengals have Caddis lined up in the backfield as a lead blocker, folks. That's a tight end lined up back there.
That's the Tiger formation for the Bengals with a tight end in the backfield. Boomer hands. Ickey Woods gets to the 1. Met by William Thomas and stopped after a 1-yard gain. It'll be 2nd and goal.
This is a new bit of a wrinkle for the Bengals. There's Eric Caddis, number 84, leading the way for Ickey Woods. He takes his man out nicely. More firepower with the blockers in the backfield when you have the big tight ends back there.
That's Clyde Simmons shaken up on the play, a key member of that great Philadelphia defensive line. He is 2nd in the NFL with 9 sacks. We'll be back. Scoreless first quarter in Philadelphia. Clyde Simmons just up on his feet and jogging to the sideline, holding that left elbow. Meanwhile, we'll check our ITT 10-minute ticker. That big matchup at Arrowhead Stadium finds the Broncos breaking on top with a field goal. Washington just keeps rolling along, 7-0 in Three Rivers. And zeros on the board all the rest of the way, including here at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia. But the Bengals are threatening. The ball sitting just inside the Philadelphia 2-yard line. Weiss hoping to get an early touchdown against the Eagles after a blocked Philadelphia field goal. It's 2nd and goal, Cincinnati. Again, Ickey Woods is stopped short of the goal line. This time the linebackers, Byron Evans and Jesse Small, combined to stack it up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, I don't know what the offense of the Bengals is trying to prove here. We already know that this Philadelphia Eagle defense is awful stingy on the run. I guess that the Bengals still feel that their offensive line can get the kind of surge they need for that short yardage, but the Eagles will hear none of it. And Sam Weiss is certainly I would have to think he's going to the air here.
Well, in fact, he told us yesterday they expected to pass a lot in the goal line situation because the Eagle defense was so tough. Busted play, and again, they're stopped. Mike Dingle collided with Boomer Esiason on the handoff, and that play never had a chance. And a little surprise, Joe, that they went to the rookie Dingle in a crucial 3rd down run.
I know. That's an old play called P36 that Weeb Eubank and famous coach of the Jets and Colts used to use, and Sam looks like he's going to go for it on 4th down.
It'll be 4th and goal, Cincinnati. 3 rushes have netted them about 1 yard. They're going to go for it on 4th down inside the Eagle 1. Woods, the lone setback. Reverse. Dingle stopped. Made the first hit on Dingle.
Well, they're trying to play this Philadelphia Eagle pursuit, but Evans stays at home here on the right side and makes the play. You also see 51, William Thomas, at home. A disciplined Eagle defense.
And that really has to be deflating for Sam Weiss and his Bengals after they blocked the Eagle field goal. Good field position, drive down to the 2 of the Eagles. 4 straight runs, failed to punch it in. And Bud Carson's Philadelphia defense living up to its reputation, stopping the Bengals in the shadow of their own goal line.
Reckless but disciplined defense.
Now the Eagles still backed up deep in their own territory. Will try to run it out with Joseph. He's across the 5, falls forward to the 7-yard line, tripped up by Alonzo Mitz.
We'll take another look at that 4th down play. Once again, the Bengals were trying to take advantage of the Eagle defensive flow, and they faked a little reverse, brought the ball carrier around, but the Eagles all stayed at home. Now watch how the green jerseys will mostly flow to the left of your screen, but over here on the right side, number 56, Byron Evans, stayed right at home. Joiners out there. That's what I call a disciplined defense.
2nd down for the Eagles, 2nd and 5. McMahon to Joseph. Nice run by Joseph. He's got a first down to the 15-yard line. James Joseph. He's carried 5 times now for 24 yards.
Well, Fulcher, the strong safety's back in the game. He comes up and kind of get blocked out of the action there, and Joseph lowers his head. He's got the kind of explosive speed these Eagles like. He gets to the hole quickly. He has good determination. He still has that youthfulness, Tom. You know, he springs through the hole.
A rookie from Auburn, only a 7th-round draft choice, but he emerged in a Monday night game, a win here over the Giants. Carried 20 times against Cleveland last week and has become the 2nd leading ground gainer on the season. Joseph again, this time nothing, stopped behind the line as Tim Crumry, the nose tackle, came up with good penetration. David Fulcher, back in the game, came up to put on the finishing touches.
Hey, Tom, penetration, what you just said, buddy, that was it. That's the best penetration I've seen by this Cincinnati defensive line, certainly today, but they haven't been getting back in that backfield, and this time Crumry just pushed past his blocker along with his teammate. Nice effort by these Bengals.
2nd and 10 for the Eagles. Scoreless first quarter, 3:36 remaining. That's Byers in motion, and McMahon will pass. Almost intercepted. James Francis had a hand on it, couldn't hold it. And Francis went upstairs. He's the former basketball player from Baylor. Jumped up, got a hand on it, couldn't hold it.
Well, Francis was actually beaten to the outside by Byers, 41, but Francis took an educated guess, you might say, and figured McMahon was going to throw to the post pattern. And I know James feels like he should have caught that when he was in the right place at the right time, just didn't hold on to the ball.
It'll be 3rd and 10 for the Eagles, who come with 3 wide receivers, Barnett, Williams, and Green. They have failed to convert on their only other 3rd down of the game. McMahon's hit 2 of his first 4 passes. Jackson in motion. Tipped and incomplete. Again, Haddix had a chance to make the interception, couldn't come up with it as the ball was tipped at the line of scrimmage by Tim Crumry and Daniel Stubbs, who were putting the rush on McMahon.
That's the kind of thing Sam Weiss says he needs, some pressure on the quarterback. They don't have, talking about the Bengals, they don't have that dominant kind of defensive player you want out there, but they got good pressure from Crumry that time, and also number 67 Stubbs. Nice defensive series for the Bengals.
So Fiegels will punt from his own goal line. Mike Barber, the deep man for the Bengals, gathers it in at the 38. Barber picks his way forward. There's a penalty marker down, and Kenny Jackson makes the tackle on special teams for the Eagles. After a 7-yard return, the punt covered 47. We'll check the infraction. Larry Nemmers, our referee today, will sort it out for us against Cincinnati. Well, the much maligned Cincinnati defense has done a good job in the first quarter.
In the back on the receiving team, number 27, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, 1st down.
Barney Bussey with the illegal block, and the Bengals will have the ball when we come back to a scoreless first quarter. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Eagles and Bengals are scoreless. Just over 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter of play. Cincinnati with a 1st down. Ball on their own 33-yard line. Brooks, blockers in front. And a great tackle made after Brooks comes across the 35 to about the 36-yard line. That was Andre Waters on the stop. Let's look at our ITT 10-minute ticker. Denver still with a 3-0 lead. Gerald Riggs' touchdown run has the unbeaten Redskins in front. Jeff George to Jesse Hester. The Colts lead the Bears. Green Bay in front, and the Jets break on top of the Patriots. And here at Veterans Stadium, 0-0. Cincinnati now with a 2nd and 6. Weiss told us yesterday that the Bengals wouldn't run the football much, but they've run it 7 times and passed only 3 in the first quarter. This will be a pass. Boomer missed his intended receiver, Reggie Rembert. It'll bring up a 3rd down play.
Well, Boomer got good protection from his offensive line. He just missed Rembert. I don't know whether it was just a misfire or Rembert didn't get to it, but look at his nice protection up here against a really ferocious pass rush. Yeah, that's not much of a hit there by Pitts. Boomer will take that every time.
Boomer pumps once. There's a penalty marker down as Esiason is almost picked off. That was sort of a floater. Eric Allen tried to get it and could not. Boomer went down on the face of the rush. The pass intended for McGee, but a penalty marker on the field.
Well, defensive tackle Mike Gullig put some pressure on Boomer the last time, and I'll tell you, Boomer was trying to throw that ball out of bounds, but the pressure really took a lot off the throw, and it was nearly intercepted.
Too many men in the field. On the defensive team, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Well, the Bengals had come up to the line of scrimmage ready to go, and as they often do, they caught the Eagles trying to make a defensive substitution. 12 men on the field, and the Bengals will take the penalty against Philadelphia. That's the 3rd penalty against the Eagles for 15 yards. The Bengals have been called once for a 10-yard infraction.
Now, that's just one of the aspects of this no-huddle offense or sugar huddle or whatever Cincinnati likes to call it. It puts extra pressure on the defense, not only in communication, making sure they have the right calls, but it takes them out of their routine. They're playing a different kind of game today.
3rd and 1 play. Play action pass, and Esiason fumbles the ball. Recovered by the Bengals, but way back at the 35-yard line. Ickey Woods was able to catch the ball as it popped loose from Boomer. But Esiason felt all sorts of pressure that time.
Yes, from Pitts this time. Mike Pitts, that's the thing that makes this team tough. And I think Boomer's trying to get this ball over here to Ickey Woods. You see, it's a little lateral, not really a pass. But the Eagles' defense is so tough because you really can't isolate 2 blockers on 1 guy. They have 4 guys up front that come at you and come at you hard.
Johnson will punt to Harris. That's Rod Harris deep. Low line drive kick. Harris retreats and lets it bounce. Inside the 10 to the 5. And it'll stop rolling there. Great kick by Lee Johnson, who has backed the Philadelphia Eagles up. That's a 60-yard punt dead at the Eagle 5-yard line. James Lynn, first down, field to kill it for the Bengals. And Jim McMahon will lead that Philadelphia offense again. It's been a revolving door for the Eagles at quarterback this season. In fact, in their first 8 games, they had 5 different quarterbacks. Randall Cunningham, the starter, injured in the first game, replaced by McMahon. He eventually went down. They called Pat Ryan from Knoxville, Tennessee, out of retirement for a while. Brad Gable, who is the rookie from Baylor, got a shot. And then Jeff Kemp, released by Seattle, had some time behind center here for the Eagles. So it has been a quarterback quandary for the Eagles, except when that man is at the controls. McMahon, the heart and soul of this Eagle team, and has them in position for a run at the playoffs. Keith Myers, the only setback on first down from his end zone. McMahon fires complete to Barnett. Barnett across the 10 to about the 13-yard line. Give him about 8 yards before he's wrestled down by Wayne Haddix. We've been talking about how important Jim McMahon is to this team. We were chatting with Rich Kotite, the first-year head coach of the Eagles, yesterday, and here's what he said. Right in the middle of the hunt, but you can't afford to let one get by. We're coming on now, but the whole key is number 9, Jim McMahon, and that was the theme that all the players and coaches returned to.
Well, once again, Jim is an excellent passer. His forte is reading the defenses and getting the ball to the number 1 receiver quickly, and then his leadership, that intangible, that toughness out there, leads by example.
Wearing a big knee brace. His right elbow, his throwing elbow, is hurting him. Battered and bruised, but still there. Joseph hit behind the line, spun down, still on his feet, though. He got right back up and is stopped back at the 5-yard line. It'll be a loss on the play, and a big one, as David Grant came up to make the first hit to slow down Joseph, and he appears to be injured. Grant came up to slow him down, and then Barker and Francis put the finishing touches on him.
Again, good penetration from the right side of the defense. Look over here on the left side of your screen. You'll see those Bengals pushing their way back there. I believe that's the linebacker Williams, number 94, getting his hand in there, and just nice penetration. Nowhere for Joseph to run.
And Joseph may have twisted his knee. You see his knee, his right knee, being examined. He's carried 7 times for 16 yards. As we pointed out, the Eagles for most of the season had a pretty anemic rushing game until this man, James Joseph, got into the lineup a couple of games ago. Flexing that right knee of James Joseph, and gives us a chance to remind you that next Sunday we'll have an exciting NFL doubleheader for you here on NBC. It starts at 12:30 Eastern Time with NFL Live. And many of you will see one of these 2 games with playoff implications: Kansas City at Cleveland or Houston at Pittsburgh. Then the second half of the doubleheader, the Miami Dolphins against the Chicago Bears. Remember a few years ago when Chicago came down unbeaten and the Dolphins knocked them from the ranks of the unbeaten? There'll also be on the NFL Live show next Sunday a profile of Mike Ditka, the controversial coach of the Bears. It's all starting at 12:30 Eastern Time next week here on NBC. Here is James Joseph, who was a tailback and a fullback at Auburn. Gained over 2,200 yards for the Auburn Tigers, 6th all time.
Well, let's take a look, folks, see if you can tell where his knees or his legs get twisted up here. You can see him fighting, trying to stay on his feet to get more yardage, but he's going in the wrong direction. And then here he just simply lands on his knees. He lands on his right knee. It looks like it might be bruised or so to me. It didn't look like he got it twisted. It's not that the kind of injury, I don't believe. Just one of those bruises. He seems to be walking fine, Tom.
Here's again a close-up of that right knee. Maybe hyperextended. I don't know what happened, but it doesn't appear to be too serious because Joseph is walking from the field. And the loss of Joseph, though, will deal a severe blow to the rushing attack of the Eagles.
The trainer on the right there is Arthur Davis, who's been here 19 years, and it's his grandma's goo that he made up, Tom, that he rubs on Jim McMahon's arm to help get it ready. And we'll talk about that goo a little later on, folks. But 5 times that man right there in the sunglasses was Trainer of the Year here in the NFL. He's just an outstanding trainer.
First quarter has come to an end at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia with the Eagles and Bengals scoreless. Welcome back to Philadelphia. Bengals and Eagles scoreless through the first quarter of play. And Joe, you were mentioning a moment ago Grandma's goo. I heard you talking on NFL Live with Bob Costas about it. The stuff that trainer Otho Davis puts on McMahon's elbow. What is that stuff?
It's smelly, I know that. It's an old concoction from back on the farm in Elgin, Texas, where the trainer Davis is from. Says he mixes it up with a few things. Kerosene is one of the ingredients that's been mentioned, and it smells awful. McMahon says it makes him smell like a goat.
Cleaned out my sinuses, I know that. Well, we'll see if the Grandma's goo can work on this little shovel pass from McMahon to Byers. Keith Byers bouncing off tacklers, but stopped short of the first down by James Francis.
Good defensive effort by these Bengals on a big third down play. They're going to get the ball back in decent field position. You see the flow of Fulcher and the Bengals get over there quickly. Bussy 27 along with forces Byers to turn back, and then the rest of his teammates are there to make the play, especially number 67 Daniel Stubbs, who's been pretty active in there today.
There Byers leaving the field, and the word on James Joseph is he has a twisted right knee and probably will return to the game. That's good news for the Eagles.
Well, I can't help but feel like these artificial surfaces that these guys play on have something to do with these ankle and knee injuries.
We were walking on the turf at Veterans Stadium yesterday, and there's an area in the center of the field that is absolutely as hard as concrete. Barber takes Fiegel's punt as his own 35-yard line and tries to get to the outside. Can't do it. Good special team coverage by the Eagles. There's a penalty marker down. William Thomas with the tackle after a 52-yard Fiegel's punt and only a 2-yard return. This one will go against the Eagles. That'll nullify that 52-yard punt.
Face mask on the tackle, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Number 51, kicking team.
So subtract 15 yards from that 52-yard punt, a flagrant face mask violation.
Well, William Thomas, 51, right there in the middle of the screen, gets hold of the face mask, and I promise you folks, they're not aiming to grab it, but the problem here is he doesn't let go of it. You're supposed to try and get your hand out of that area as quickly as possible, but Thomas, you know, your fingers get caught in that face mask, and the runner's going in one direction. You can't get your hand out of there. This was one of the big penalties for the face mask. 15 biggies.
Couldn't tell if it was Thomas or maybe Maurice Johnson, but it is a 15-yard mark-off against the Eagles. And the Bengals, again, with excellent field position at their own 48. Brooks to the outside, into Eagle territory, give him 8 yards before he is bumped out of bounds by the free safety, Wes Hopkins. Sam Weiss and the Bengals have struggled typically in the second quarter of games. See, they've only scored 30 points, and their opponents have put up 118 in the second period this season. Cincinnati and the Eagles scoreless in the second quarter. 13:42 left. Brooks has carried 4 times for 20 yards for Cincinnati. Cooper perhaps changing the play here. Draws his wideouts Rembert and Barber in a little closer on the left side. Good defense by Eric Allen, the quarterback who was covering Reggie Rembert. Allen got a hand in there to knock the pass to the turf.
Called one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Allen, number 21, stays with Rembert all the way. You see Rembert's not really burning across that field. Of course, he's waiting on the football, but you got to give credit right there to Eric Allen, who is, as I mentioned, one of the best corners in the league. And there goes that no-huddle offense again. They got another quick play off, and it looks like they snuck through for the first down. That no-huddle offense didn't afford the Eagles a chance to get in their short yardage defense.
And it did indeed result in a Bengal first down. They go quickly. They needed only about a yard and a half. They get it. And it keeps the drive alive. And once again, Cincinnati right at the line and ready to go as Boomer looks over the Eagle defense. Now with a first down play from the 41 of Philadelphia. Brooks back to Boomer. Here's the flea flicker. Esiason downfield. Lynn James was streaking downfield behind Eric Allen, but the pass hung up just a little bit, allowing Allen to recover, and he was able to break it up.
A beautifully devised play here by the Bengals and Sam Weiss. Watch the faking that Brooks does here before he laterals the ball. Now Boomer will get it out there. What wind there is today is coming out of that direction, and I don't know whether the ball was held up that much or not, or whether Lynn James just didn't hold on to it. But I would give credit to number 21, Eric Allen, for a fine recovery.
He really closed the gap on James, and the collision knocked the ball loose. It's 2nd and 10. Boomer's pass complete to McGee. McGee with a first down inside the 30 of the Philadelphia Eagles, down at about the 27-yard line. Tim McGee with another reception from Boomer.
Look at us blocking up front. Watch this offensive line at work. Boomer stands in there. He doesn't give ground. Look at this block. I mean, it's beautiful. The Bengals can afford Boomer this kind of time. Forget it. He's going to complete passes.
It looks like Kosar as he sidearmed that last one. This one to Caddis, and Caddis has a first down to the 15 of the Eagles, where he's hit by Wes Hopkins. You know, Joe, Rich Kotite told us yesterday his biggest fear was that the Eagles might be a little flat, playing a team that had only won once after emotional wins against their big rival, the Giants, and then in a come-from-behind effort down 23-0 before winning at Cleveland last week. And do you think the Eagles are a bit flat?
Well, talking with Seth Joyner and Reggie White and those guys, they say, no, we're going to be up for this. But you really can't get yourself up for a team that's won only one game. Not the way you need to get up.
Play action pass. Esiason to Brooks. Touchdown.
Well, it's awful quiet here at Philadelphia Eagles Stadium. Esiason once again getting just outstanding protection up front, and Brooks outrunning the defense. Oh, Kotite's going to be a bit concerned. I know he is. Look at his little play-action face. Now look at this offensive line. 64, Bruce Kozerski comes across with a nice block, and Brooks simply outruns John Booty. Let's check out Boomer's reaction. Does he know he has something good? Let's see. Okay, sure, touchdown.
We have an injured player, so we'll take a break before the point after attempt. Boomer has the Bengals in front. Jim Breach lined up now for the extra point attempt. On its way and good. So the Cincinnati Bengals, after a 52-yard drive, get the Brooks touchdown reception. The point after makes it 7-0 Cincinnati over Philadelphia.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision-crafted performance. By Budweiser, the king of beers. With that clean, crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud. By Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares. And by new Tylenol PM to relieve nighttime aches and pains that can keep you from sleeping.
From Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, that's Reggie White, who on the Bengals touchdown pass was kicked in the head, but he's all right. He will return to the game. Johnson with the kickoff, taken by Harris. Rod Harris with a head of steam down the sideline and knocked out of bounds around the 30-yard line. Ed Brady on special teams made the tackle after a 33-yard return by Harris.
On the bottom right of your screen, you see Reggie White falling. Now here comes his teammate Brown, and watch how his foot will catch the back of Reggie White's head right here. And that's the injury that White sustained. However, he did walk off the field, and word from the benches, he will be back out there on the next defensive series.
With a broad back on Reggie White right there, the 5-time Pro Bowler. James Joseph, who twisted his right knee earlier, is back in the lineup for the Eagles. They trail now 7-0 after Boomer Esiason's 9th touchdown pass of the season. That swing pass to Joseph results in only a couple of yards as David Fulcher leads a swarm of tacklers to the football. Jim McMahon is a walking anatomy chart, and how does he gear up? What kind of armor does he wear for a game? There's a big knee brace to go along with the regular helmet and so on. And look like some of your equipment for battle back in your days, Joe.
Well, it sure does. It's bigger these days. The shoulder pads have rib pads built on them, and along with the rib pads, the shoes, the helmet, and all, you're carrying around 20 pounds of extra equipment out there.
McMahon has hit 4 of his first 7 passes, 38 yards. That one short hops the intended receiver Barnett. David Grant was in the face of McMahon, putting on the pressure, and the Eagles just haven't looked sharp offensively or defensively today.
No, McMahon's able to get this ball off, but he's harried a little bit. I think he just misfires, throws it in the ground, and that's the. You see Jim jumping up and down. He's upset with himself right now. He knows he should have gotten that ball out there where it was catchable, and he just didn't do it.
Certainly the Eagles won't panic. They trailed Cleveland 23-0 last week before coming back to win the game 32-30.
Come on.
Trying to convert their first 3rd down. This is the 4th 3rd down they've attempted. On the shotgun. McMahon steps up and throws incomplete. Fans wanted an interference call perhaps against Calvin Williams, the intended receiver, covered by Lewis Billups.
Well, Billups does a good job of not interfering. He's going to come from the right side of your screen, kind of crossing the field. McMahon will step up smartly and then throw the ball, which what appears to be an open receiver. And actually, he was open, but Calvin Williams, the receiver, chose to slow down. And it's tough on a quarterback when a receiver changes his route as he's running it. That time, had Williams kept running, he might have had a completion.
Eagles, who's having a good day, punts to Barber at the 26-yard line. Barber straight up the middle on his return, stopped at the 39 by Robert Drummond. Cincinnati Bengals get the ball back, playing well and leading 7-0. With the Bengals leading the Eagles 7-0. 10:16 left in the 2nd quarter. Cincinnati football, first down at their own 39. Boomer changing the play here. In fact, I don't think McGee heard it. He was looking in puzzlement, and the pass is incomplete. That play didn't look good at all. Rembert, the intended receiver. Let's check our Budweiser 10-minute ticker. That Treadwell field goal continues to hold up for the Broncos. Lohmiller with a field goal for Washington. Harbaugh touchdown pass has tied it in Indianapolis. Green Bay 14-7. Jets still on top, and Atlanta 10-0. 7-0 here. Bengals leading the Eagles. They have a 2nd and 10. That's Brooks in motion as Boomer retreats to pass and finds his man Rembert, who's got a first down at midfield. Reggie Rembert, out of West Virginia, who came over in a trade last year from the Jets with his 5th reception of the season.
Pass protection. That's what this is about against the best pass rush in the league, probably. Esiason stays in there calmly and finally gets the ball out to Rembert. Now, Sam Weich, the head coach, is expecting Rembert to start making some big plays. He says, hey, it's time now. We're looking for a lot out of this young man.
Boomer's gone to the sidearm Kosar delivery today. He's 6 of 11, 76 yards and a touchdown.
You know, Boomer's arm's not 100% either.
Right.
He doesn't complain about it.
Ball just across the midfield stripe. Riggs, the man in motion, and the ball loose. And the Eagles have it. Jerome Brown with a fumble recovery as they And Eagle defense finally comes up with a big play.
The weather's perfect. The snap should be successful. Kozerski and Esiason foul this up for some reason, but that snap between center and quarterback should be near automatic. I say near automatic because Mother Nature has a way of twisting things, and she didn't have a hand in this last fumble. I don't know what the problem was on the exchange, but you can bet Kozerski and Esiason have already talked about it.
So you see the turnover ratio now at -11. One of the big reasons the Bengals are 1-9. Eagles trying to get a spark from the turnover. McMahon looks downfield and throws short to Jackson. About a 5-yard gain to the Bengal 45-yard line. Ripped down there by Leo Barker and a couple of punches exchanged. That's big Ron Heller, 6'6", 280 pounds, mixing it up a little bit. First catch of the day for the Pro Bowl tight end Keith Jackson of the Eagles.
Cincinnati defense is doing a nice job out there today, not only getting some pressure back there on McMahon, but taking away his receivers. That was nice coverage downfield.
Barnett wide to the left on 2nd down and 6. Plenty of time for McMahon. No rush at all. This is Byers in the flats. Spins away from one tackler, and it falls forward for an Eagle first down. Good run by Keith Byers, the versatile one. A very talented receiver out of the backfield. In fact, the 3rd leading receiver on the Eagle team.
Well, Keith Byers makes this himself. First of all, there's good pass protection. Then Byers is going to make Carl Zander miss 91 right here. Zander overruns the play a little bit because Byers cut back so nicely.
Meanwhile, Barnett all alone down the sideline, but McMahon couldn't find him.
Well, I'm not so sure Fulcher wasn't laying in the grass there. It looked like a safety was in pretty decent position.
First down, Eagles. The ball in Bengal territory at the 38. 7-0 Cincinnati.
Laying in the grass. Did I say grass?
It's turf. McMahon scrambles and gets away. Dumps it to Byers, and Byers makes it back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a yard more. Barker and Francis collapsing on Byers shortly after that short pass completion.
Well, the receivers are being covered downfield. Used to be when these Eagles had a receiver covered downfield, the quarterback, meaning Randall Cunningham, would be able to get out of that pocket and run. And there's Randall on the sidelines. He used to stay up in the sky boxes, in the press box, because the emotion of the game would catch up to him on the sidelines. He said he didn't want to get caught up in it that much because he couldn't play. Now he's down on the field. He's gotten used to the fact that he's hurt, but he's coming along fine. He says that knee's going to be just fine.
McMahon's pass complete. Calvin Williams with a diving catch, and now they say no, incomplete. He short hopped it.
I'm not too sure Calvin Williams shouldn't have held on to this ball. McMahon releases this thing just in time. And let's take a look. Did he get both hands on it? Oh, my goodness gracious. Right through his arms. A nice pass by McMahon.
It went right through the arms of Calvin Williams. McMahon can't believe it. He delivered that one right on target, and Williams just saw it slip right between his hands. Roy Green, Calvin Williams, Fred Barnett, 3 wide receivers as the Eagles try to convert their first 3rd down of the day. McMahon stands in against the blitz. Barnett has it at the 10. 27-yard completion to Fred Barnett.
2 defensive backs are back there. Ricky Dixon is back there along with Thomas. Look where McMahon puts this ball. I mean, McMahon took a big hit, but the ball is perfectly thrown into the right position. I mean, Barnett found the dead spot in that zone coverage between the 2 defenders. And watch McMahon get hit right here by Billings. Boom. Oh, that's a pretty good lick right there. Jim goes down. Look at him. He's tough, huh? He wants to see what's happening downfield.
And there's Barnett. His mother wouldn't let him play football until he was a senior in high school. She thought it was too rough. Finally, as an 18-year-old senior, she said, it's time for you to start making your own decisions. He decided he wanted to play high school football, and even though he'd only played 1 year, he did have a couple of scholarship offers. He chose Arkansas State, and he went on to be their all-time leading receiver, and now the leading receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. They must be reviewing this play upstairs to
After further review, the play stands as called first down.
And it does stand. The completion to Barnett. At the 10-yard line, first down for the Eagles. They trail 7-0. McMahon for the corner of the end zone, and a touchdown to Williams.
But Williams made up for the drop just a few minutes ago, and it doesn't get any better from the quarterback position than what number 9 just performed. I mean, McMahon put it to Williams right where Williams needed to get it, and this time he delivered, and Williams held on. Nice going, McMahon. There's Cote. Hey, yeah, he's going to hug you, sure. I'll put my arm around you, buddy. You keep throwing that rock the way you are.
He knows where his meal ticket is. And I guess they're reviewing this one as well. Mark Burns is the replay official today.
Well, but take another look at it in the corner of the end zone. You see 89 up top. Look at the ball. It's going to come right in. Watch his feet now, folks. Bart, does he have possession of the ball?
The play stands as called touchdown.
You see, both feet didn't come down in bounds, but Williams had help from a defender knocking him out of bounds. Had that defender not hit Williams, he would have had his other foot in bounds. So it is touchdown.
His second touchdown catch of the season. He had the game winner against Cleveland last week. Ruzek with a point after, kicks it through. And Jim McMahon has thrown his 10th touchdown pass of the season to tie the game at 7. There's the hero of the moment, Jim McMahon, the 4th-rated passer in the NFL, takes the Eagles 49 yards in 6 plays after a fumble recovery to tie the game at 7. Here are the numbers on the day for McMahon, and don't remember, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll be presenting the Avis We Try Harder Award to be given to the game's MVP. Could be number 9. There's the scoring drive after the fumble recovery, with Williams getting the reception from McMahon. Ruzek to kick off. Dingle and Brooks, the deep men for Cincinnati. Brooks. Balls to the 20-yard line. Upended by Rich Miano after a 12-yard return.
Well, Calvin Williams catches the touchdown pass here on the left side of the screen. You'll see number 33 try to get over there. The ball is placed in an excellent position versus this defense and the dead spot of the zone defense. You look at this angle. Haddock's 45 is going to drop off Calvin Williams. Now there's a spot back there in the end zone that Fulcher just simply can't get to. I mean, that's the way the offense wants to attack that kind of defense, and McMahon delivered the ball perfectly. Now Cincinnati tries to answer first down at their own 20-yard line. 7-7 game, 6.5 minutes left in the first half. Ickey Woods bursts free and dives across the 30-yard line, close to a first down. Wes Hopkins cut the feet out from under Ickey Woods. Boomer Esiason said it's time for Ickey to show everybody he's back. This was an important play, not only because Ickey Woods made a first down through a huge hole there. Eric Caddis, number 84, does a nice job. But this Philadelphia Eagle defense is fired up now because of the score. So that was a big first down play for the Bengals. Boomer's pass complete for a gain of about 2 or 3 yards on first down. Short completion by Boomer to Jim Riggs, the tight end. And William Thomas hit him immediately. You see the defense out there trying to get the play call in from the sideline. They're milling around. They don't have a chance to get in their defensive huddle as they normally do, to talk things over, to hear the play. The defense called from one player. They have to pass it around and use hand signals. They were beaten last week on a couple of touchdown plays because of communication problems, so they devised hand signals.
Woods. Ickey Woods pounds ahead for about 3 yards. Remember, Ickey Woods injured his knee in game 2 of the '89 season. Didn't return until the 7th game of 1990. In '88, when he was all rookie, he rushed for 1,066 yards. And look how, of course, 89, 90, 91, his production has steadily gone downwards. He has never regained that rookie form after having his knee torn up. He's carried 5 times for 8 yards this afternoon. Third and 5 for Cincinnati. That's the time remaining. Wes Hopkins brings it back upfield to his own 45-yard line. Esiason picked off for the 13th time this season. And for Wes Hopkins, his 3rd pick of 1991.
Wes Hopkins comes from the middle of the field across and makes the interception. Boomer Esiason would love Mike Barber to at least make a play on the ball if he can, but Barber can't get inside because of the coverage of Seth Joyner. So Hopkins comes up with a nice interception. Take another look at it. You see it's 59 Joyner to the inside of Barber, who kind of prohibits Barber from getting inside to the ball. But gee whiz, you'd still like to see a receiver kind of fight his way through there, not allow the interception to take place.
3rd interception for Wes Hopkins as Sam Weish and Boomer Esiason. It's interesting, those two players, or that coach and player talking to us yesterday, both mentioned turnovers as a reason for the Bengals' demise this season. 2 turnovers already here in the first half. The first led to the only Eagle touchdown, and here's the second.
The play stands as called on the field. Interception, first down.
What was the question?
I don't know, but talking with Boomer and Sam Weish, you know, they spread the blame around. Boomer says, hey, I'm not playing that well, but we haven't done things with the turnovers, the drop balls. Our defense hasn't played that well. This is a team failure this season. We've fallen apart in every phase of the game.
Keith Byers tries the middle of the Cincinnati defense and only finds a yard or 2. Let's check in with Bob Costas now at NFL Live.
Tom, the big one in the AFC West is at Arrowhead. The Chiefs and the Broncos come in at 7-3, both of them. And here's Gaston Green breaking off a big play. This is why Bobby Humphrey can't get back into the lineup these days for the Broncos. He galloped 60 for the go-ahead touchdown. Bronx 10, Chiefs 7, second quarter in KC. Tom?
All right, Bob, that crucial AFC West game here at Veterans Stadium. We're 7-7 with 4 minutes left in the first half. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles in on 2nd and 8. Byers to the outside. Nice run by Keith Byers. Ducks out at the Cincinnati 46-yard line. He will be short of the first down. Run out of bounds by Alfred Williams, the rookie linebacker of the Bengals. 10-minute ticker update. There's that Denver-Kansas City score. Washington, business as usual. Chicago and the Colts tied up. Indianapolis winning for the first time last season. Green Bay, the Jets add to their lead, and Atlanta blanking Tampa Bay. Keith Byers has carried 4 times for 34 yards. We're 7-7, 3.5 and counting. Man's pass complete to Green. Roy Green, the veteran, has an Eagle first down. In his 13th year, Roy Green catching his 24th pass of the season, 34 years old. Bussey and Haddix made the tackle.
Yeah, Roy Green gets the option to run different routes. He's smart. He's a wily guy. He knows where to go. And that time he broke it to the outside short for the open spot. Not only has Green helped with his performance, but he's helped these young receivers also on the Eagles, showing these guys how to set up defensive backs and break away from them.
Signed as a free agent by the Philadelphia Eagles. First down play.
The
McMahon's pass on target, complete to Barnett. And Barnett with another Eagle first down. He's to the 28 of Cincinnati. McMahon now has hit 11 of 17 and over 100 yards passing.
McMahon goes to the area of the field where it's 1-on-1. Over here with Eric Thomas, the lone cornerback. And you see the man coverage right there. McMahon has picked him out after he's afforded excellent pass protection up front. You don't see any white uniforms in McMahon's face. Nice pass protection.
And we come to the 2-minute warning for the first half. 7-7 game, but the Eagles are threatening. Locked in a 7-7 tie with 2 minutes left in the first half. Eagles with a first down. They have passed more often than they have run. Cincinnati with balance in their offense. This will be a run to Joseph. Stacked up at the line of scrimmage and driven back by the center of the Cincinnati defense. Well, you see why the Eagles have passed more than they have run. They've not been very productive on the ground. Leo Barker led the charge for the Bengal defense that time. Full complement of timeouts remaining for each team.
Well, a whole host of Cincinnati defenders coming onto the field to change up the defensive look for the Bengals.
Late substitution by Cincinnati. 3 wide receivers in the game for the Eagles. Barnett set to the left. McMahon for the end zone. Picked off. Fulcher with the interception, out of bounds at the Cincinnati 5. David Fulcher, shaken up earlier in the game, has his 3rd interception, the most for any Bengal this season.
Well, Fulcher is going to be in the bottom left of your screen. McMahon tries to stick it in a double zone, so to speak. The underneath man, of course, being the cornerback, and Fulcher's in excellent position this time. I'd have to say that McMahon had a kind of a misread here because Fulcher was there to play the ball and play the ball only. McMahon doesn't want to put that ball in that area when that safety can get to it.
David Fulcher has been to 3 straight Pro Bowls. Number 33, remember, shaken up a little earlier in the game and still a bit gimpy. But he makes the play there, playing it like a safety should. Waiting to make a break on the ball, and he picked it off to stymie the Eagle drive. Bengals with the ball at their own 5. They'll try to run out the half if they can and preserve this tie. That's Icky Woods, short yardage. Hope you'll stay with us at halftime. We'll have the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Messrs. Costas, Parcells, and Simpson. Bill Parcells will take a look at the NFL's talent level declining in that halftime report as well. We'll take a break here in a 7-7 game. David Fulcher gets an early start for the locker room after making the interception. Get a little treatment before the rest of the teammates come in at halftime. Meanwhile, McMahon has been picked off, throwing the interception, his 7th interception of the season, just as the Eagles look to take advantage of an intercepted Cincinnati pass and go in to break the tie. Here are the numbers for McMahon on the day.
Well, you know, that last pass he had intercepted, the way you need to hit that pass is to throw it a little bit earlier, because by holding on to it as long as Jim did, he gave Fulcher a chance to get in that area.
Eagles took the timeout, trying to keep Cincinnati bottled up and get the ball back. Icky Woods again, short yardage on the run, down to 48 seconds. And the Eagles take another timeout as we take another break.
Philadelphia, that's their 2nd team timeout.
7-7 at the vet. 48 seconds left in the first half, and the Bengals facing a 3rd down. Eagles can stop the clock one more time. Cincinnati playing really without a full deck today, with their leading rusher Harold Green injured and not here, and Eddie Brown had a hernia operation on Tuesday. Their leading receiver not suited up today as well. So the leading rusher, leading receiver sidelined by injury for the Cincinnati Bengals today. There's Eddie Brown, who made the trip. Sam Weiss said that's an example of how the team is staying together despite only one win. Brown requesting and making the trip with his teammates to Philadelphia. This is James Brooks, stopped well short of the first down, and the Eagles spend their final timeout. Just 43 seconds left, but the Eagles will get the ball back with a chance for some points before halftime. 10-minute ticker. Broncos continuing to lead by 3 at Kansas City. 17-0. The Steelers taking it on the chin from the unbeaten Redskins. Still locked in a 7-7 deadlock at the Hoosier Dome. Bit of a surprise there. Harbaugh and George trading touchdown passes. Minnesota and Green Bay now tied at 14. The Jets had their playoff blows dealt hopes dealt a severe blow with the Colts last week and taking it out on the Patriots in New England today, 17-0. And look what Atlanta's doing to Tampa Bay already, 26-0 before halftime.
Right now, the key for the Bengals and Lee Johnson is to get the ball off quickly. You don't want to have this one blocked. Sure, the Eagles are going to get it in pretty decent field position, maybe have a chance for a touchdown or field goal, but number one order for Lee Johnson is to take very few steps to get rid of the ball.
Rod Harris comes up in a hurry and makes the catch of the punt on the fly. And he's inside the 40 down to the 37-yard line. Spun to the turf at that point, giving the Eagles great field position. Give Alex Gordon credit for the tackle. Remember now, McMahon has no timeouts remaining, just 34 ticks remaining.
So what do? You try to throw the ball downfield. If you get something in the middle of the field while there's 34 seconds, that's okay because you'll have time to stop the clock and set up things for clock stopping play. Otherwise, you try to work the sidelines. But right now, with 34 seconds, I can see McMahon hitting a dead spot down the center of the field.
He's in the shotgun formation at the moment. Joseph and Byers in there with him. McMahon's pass incomplete. Intended for Keith Jackson, and Wayne Haddix had good coverage on Jackson.
Haddix did have decent coverage on Jackson right now. Jackson's trying to fight to the inside, and Haddix is keeping underneath position, playing for the interception. Had that ball been put up a little bit higher, I'm not sure Haddix wouldn't have been able to get to it.
Second down for the Eagles, 29 seconds left. Keith Jackson has only one reception for 4 yards in the game. They will show a blitz, but don't come with it. Well, they do come with Francis. And the pass incomplete off the hands of Barnett. 25 seconds left. It'll be third down for Philadelphia.
Well, Jim McMahon's not throwing it as well as he's thrown it in the past. You see the receivers on the inside with the chance to make a catch, but the ball is low and on the ground. So right now the Eagles need to hit a completion either in the middle of the field. They still have time to stop the clock, or to the sideline so they can set up a field goal opportunity for number 7 right there, Ruzick.
3rd and 10 for the Eagles, 37-yard line of Cincinnati, 25 seconds left. 7-7 game. McMahon over the center, Barnett upstairs to make a first down reception. Now the Eagles must hurry, no timeouts left.
I don't know why the Bengals are hurrying that much. I mean, I know they want to get back, but they don't need to sprint back to the defensive side of the ball.
Down to 5 seconds. They're going to have to kill the clock. 2. And McMahon downs it. There's a penalty marker down. Maybe they had too many players on the field. I don't know.
Well, the key is they've got the clock stopped with 2 seconds left to go, and the Eagles need to get in position for the field goal right now.
Ruzek is already there.
We have illegal receivers on the end of the line. 5 yards on the offense. Still first down.
So a 5-yard penalty. Ruzek will kick from about the 34-yard line. He'll make it a 44-yard attempt.
What that illegal receivers business means on the end of the line is the Eagles were in such a hurry that time to get this play off. They had a number out there that wasn't a pass receiver lined up on the end of the line of scrimmage. And you've got to tell an official every time, if you have a number 60 or 70 or so, say, hey, I'm lining up at tight end, I'm eligible. If you don't report that, you're not eligible.
Now, does that mean, since it's an illegal procedure, that the down pass doesn't count? They're going to rewind the clock here?
They're not going to rewind the clock.
By rule, a foul by the offense with no timeouts left and the clock running is a 10-second runoff. The half is over.
I'm sorry. That's right. This is a new one.
Right.
That's amazing.
So the infraction by the Eagles cost them a chance for a go-ahead field goal. They were scrambling to get lined up in position. No timeouts left. And the rule says an infraction at that point is a 10-second runoff. With only 2 on the clock, the first half will come to an end. So the Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals had battled to a 7-7 deadlock at intermission. Each team sputtering at times. Turnovers have hurt the Bengals, but the Eagles, for the most part, unable to take advantage of the Cincinnati miscues and making a big miscue themselves just before halftime, failing to get the go-ahead field goal attempt. It's 7-7 at the Vet in Philadelphia. Boomer has a touchdown pass. And so does Jim McMahon. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Cincinnati Bengals tied 7-7 at Veterans Stadium at halftime. Welcome back to the Vet in Philadelphia. Joe, the first half ending on sort of a bizarre note as the officials let the clock tick away before the Eagles could get a field goal attempt up. What is the intent of that rule?
Well, that rule is put in because a couple of years ago they figured, hey, let's stop the offense from intentionally committing a penalty to save time on the clock. That's unfair when you intentionally commit penalties. We used to do it back when I played, guys jumping off sides or whatever. Anything to get the clock stopped. So that rule was put in effect for that purpose.
Other than that, the game has been pretty much dead even, surprisingly so. The Cincinnati defense has played better than usual, and that dominating Philadelphia defense has not been able to completely stymie the Cincinnati offense.
I'll tell you why. That offensive line of the Bengals is doing a fine job. They're not the dominant offensive line they used to be with their strength and all. They're not even the biggest offensive line in the game anymore, but they are doing a fine job protecting Boomer to this point.
Does this encourage a team that's won only one game to be in it against a favorite opponent?
That's the thing. These guys want to show that they can compete against the best, the Philadelphia Eagles. And you look at those statistics right there, it shows that without the turnovers, the Bengals have been doing a pretty good job. But those 2 big turnovers, the fumble and interception, have hurt the Bengals.
Coors Light halftime stats showing us that the Eagles with a total yards edge, just barely 172 to 114. And the second half underway as the Bengals receive Ruzek's kick. Brooks on a reverse. And the Eagles not fooled as Brooks handed it to Lynn James. And James taken down by John Booty after only a 6-yard return.
Well, you see, this particular play, the Bengals are trying to take advantage of the Eagles' pursuit. But the Eagles special team coach, Dave Atkins, has his team staying at home. Sam Weish had seen in some past weeks that these Eagles really flow to the ball. They go after it. So he was hoping to get that flow going one way and then reverse the other way. It didn't work.
So the Bengals start from their own 12-yard line. First down, and Boomer to the air. Almost intercepted. In fact, a teammate knocked the ball loose. Thomas and Evans colliding, and the ball dropping to the turf, intended for Riggs.
Oh, well, watch Boomer. He's looking there all the way. You see, he's looking, he's looking, he's looking, he's looking. If I'm a defensive player, a linebacker, or a back, and I see Esiason, naturally I'm running in the direction he's looking. So there were a couple of Eagles in excellent position that time for the interception.
Evans almost had it, and then his teammate Thomas knocked it loose. Ickey Woods. Woods across the 15 to the 17-yard line. Tripped up there by William Thomas and Andre Waters.
I can't help but wonder every time Woods carries that ball this week if he's not thinking about or worrying about that fumble he had against Pittsburgh last week. After catching the pass and going out into the flat, Lloyd from Pittsburgh stripped Woods of the ball to set up the winning score, and that weighed heavily on Ickey's comeback.
Gaining just over 2 yards on the average per carry today. Boomer has a man wide open, and the pass is complete to Mike Barber. And Barber to the 30-yard line and a Bengal first down. A clutch third down conversion as Hopkins and Waters take down Barber after a gain of 14.
On the left side of the screen, Barber breaks across to the middle of the field and finds a huge open spot. Esiason's already back at work, and he gets smothered back there by Reggie White.
Reggie White with his first sack of the day for White. Number 9 on the season, number 104 of his career. And there's an injured Bengal. It's the perennial All-Pro, Anthony Munoz.
Take a look on the right side to see if we can tell what happens to Munoz. Don't see 78 in the picture at all over here. Never did see him, but he'll be back. He's a tough one.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by Oldsmobile, the power of intelligent engineering. By the card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Liberty Mutual. We're our customers' advocate at Liberty Mutual because we understand the costs involved. And by Hertz. We never forget who made us #1. We're Hertz. We're America's wheels.
Sellout crowd at the Vet in Philadelphia. Tom Hammond and Joe Namath. Anthony Munoz being helped from the field after being injured on that first down play.
Right on the hash mark in the circle, you'll see Clyde Simmons pushing on Munoz. Then Munoz will go down, and somehow he's going to hurt the right side of his body, either his right leg or hip. I'm not sure, but it is the right side.
Anthony Munoz, Clyde Simmons telling us yesterday, Munoz the best offensive lineman he's ever faced. Many defensive players have said that about him. 2nd and 10 to Brooks. James Brooks stopped for no gain by Reggie White. Boy, Reggie White is a story, Joe. We were talking with him yesterday, and he told us every Friday afternoon after practice he goes to the inner city in Philadelphia to preach to the people there in the inner city. And back on his home in Knoxville, Tennessee, he has on his property a home for unwed mothers, 2 mothers and their children currently residing there, and very committed to helping the disadvantaged in this country and to spreading his faith. Plans to start a church upon his retirement. Boomer on 3rd down, being chased and sacked by Simmons. Well, there's the Philadelphia defense that these fans have come to expect.
96 in front of you, going against number 73 right now, Ken Moyer, and he just gets by him to make the play. Of course, remember we had Munoz over on that side a little earlier to go against Simmons, and Munoz was doing a pretty good job, but you've got to have your best out there going against this man. One of the reasons this Eagles front 4 may be the best in the game.
Harris awaiting Johnson's punt. He'll punt from his own end zone. End over end at midfield. Harris tries to get to the outside and finally taken down at the 45-yard line of the Cincinnati Bengals. Only a 37-yard punt. Eagles in good shape for McMahon. Anthony Munoz, number 78, trying to shake off the effects of a hip pointer suffered on that play a couple of downs ago. 7-7 game, first possession of the second half for the Eagles. It comes from the Bengal 45. Myers and Joseph, the running backs. Play action pass. McMahon chased, gets rid of it to Byers. Short completion to Byers, still fighting on his feet and knocked out of bounds. Well, actually not out of bounds. They rule the clock still running. Francis had him wrapped up.
What a nice play by Jim McMahon. I mean, he looked for his deep receivers. He didn't have them. Then Crumrye is all over McMahon. He's still able to turn this into a decent play while being knocked to this turf.
Crumrye's had a good game for Cincinnati, putting a lot of pressure on from that nose tackle spot. Somehow Byers was able to get 4 yards out of that first down play, so it's 2nd and 6 for Philadelphia. There's Crumrye. Came back from that terrible broken leg in the Super Bowl. Twice has been to the Pro Bowl for Cincinnati. Man again to Byers with a screen pass set up. Byers diving forward just short of the first down. He'll be about a yard short. It'll be 3rd and 1. Lewis Billups undercut Byers after that completion. Well, Kansas City leading for the first time in that crucial battle against the Broncos. Washington on the way to another win. Ho-hum. 10-10, Chicago and Indianapolis. That's been a surprising battle at the Hoosier Dome. Green Bay in front. Jets still blanking New England and Atlanta. Chris Miller has hit Andre Rison for 3 touchdown passes in that 33-0 Falcons lead. 7-7 here. We're in the third quarter. Clock shows 10:56. Heath Sherman makes an appearance in the Eagle backfield along with James Joseph. And Sherman with the carry has the first down. Well, that Hertz 10-minute ticker showing us that things locked up at Kansas City. That crucial battle between the Broncos and the Chiefs. And around the country, people a little surprised at this score, I'm sure. Rich Kotite looking for his third straight win and has the Eagles back in playoff contention. But the Bengals have been up to the task today, and perhaps Kotite's prophecy of a letdown might be coming true. With the Eagles moving the ball here in a 7-7 game. McMahon threw it to nobody. I think he was expecting Barnett to break to the outside. Barnett instead broke to the inside, and the pass incomplete. There he is saying, no, outside.
Take a look at McMahon's throwing motion here. See if you can tell if his arm's bothering. I think not. He has a very efficient throwing motion, throwing from up high, carrying the ball up high, and he's following through. This is back in '85, of course. Now watch how McMahon will follow through. Of course, good pass protection will afford that, but he carries the ball high. He doesn't have to warm up. Now watch his follow through. You see that right leg come back toward the line of scrimmage? That's excellent, and that's afforded by good pass protection.
McMahon has hit 14 of 24 for 134 yards, a touchdown and an interception today. Byers, nice cut up the middle, and he fumbled the football. David Fulcher picks it off and brings it back to the Bengal 47-yard line. Fulcher had an interception earlier in the game. This time, Crumry knocked it loose, and Fulcher picked it up and rambled back upfield with it. The second turnover by the Philadelphia Eagles today.
On the left side of the screen, Byers gets to the outside, and he's trying to fight forward for some yardage. But, folks, sometimes these fumbles are caused by the defense. That time, that one looked like Byers just got the ball back on his hip, and he lost it. Sure, there was good defensive effort, but I think it was the way Byers was carrying the ball that caused him to fumble it.
So Byers with a fumble. Fulcher recovers, and Cincinnati has a first down at their own 48-yard line. Brooks to midfield. Gain of 2 or 3. Running yardage pretty tough against this Philadelphia defense. Ken Moyer, the right guard, led the interference that time as Byers tries to explain what happened on that fumble.
These Bengals show no quit. I know Byers is upset with the fumble, but Anthony Munoz is back out there playing with the hip pointer, and I tell you what, hip pointers are very painful. They hurt, but Munoz is certainly far from a quitter. He's got a lot of class, and he's out there giving it what he has.
Here's the Tiger formation. Brooks set wide to the left. Boomer goes to the right and has his man, McGee, for a Bengal first down.
Let's check Munoz out again. He's back in the game, as I mentioned, with that painful hip pointer. He takes on Simmons man for man, gets turned a little bit, but you see how far away Simmons is from the quarterback when the ball is released. That's because of Munoz. Not the overpowering blocker that he once was, Tom, but he's wily now. He knows more. He has some tricks, and Simmons is a bit wary of that.
Munoz told us yesterday that this was the biggest challenge that the Bengal offensive line had faced all year, this tough Philly defense. Also said he plans to play through next season and then assess his career. That would be his 13th year. Brooks straight up the gut. Has 4 yards, just short of the 35 of the Eagles. Reggie White and Jerome Brown collapsing on the versatile James Brooks.
I like to look at this line play. This is where the games usually are won and lost, and Munoz turns Simmons out to the outside, and Simmons really nowhere near the play. Once again, credit to Munoz.
No huddle offense for Cincinnati. 2nd and 7, Bengals. Boomer has a completion to Barber, who was wide open, and Barber has a Bengal first down to the 33 of the Eagles. Eric Allen ran Barber out of bounds.
Well, Riggs and McGee kind of take the defenders inside right there and shield off a defender a bit, and Barber gets out there. It's kind of like the old basketball screen play, Tom. You know, you run a guy across the defender, make the defender take a false step, and your buddy comes open.
Barber has 3 catches today. That's 16 for the season, 2 more than he caught all last year. Former 1AA All-American at Marshall. Originally drafted in the 4th round by San Francisco and also played for Phoenix. Brooks trying to get outside. No loss on the play, or actually maybe a 1-yard gain, as Simmons and White outraced Brooks to the corner. And James Brooks rapidly earning a spot in the NFL record books in his 11th year now out of Auburn, and the number 2 rusher on the Cincinnati team this season. He's carried 8 times for 33 yards today, which will add to that total, now up to 14,598 all-purpose yards. And that's where he ranks 5th all-time in the NFL record books, and moving up. Look at those names: Peyton, Dorsett, Brown, and Harris. Some pretty elite company for James Brooks. Here's Brooks again. Kind of a counter play behind the blocking. He's to the 24-yard line of the Eagles. Byron Evans and Wes Hopkins stacking him up there. Clock continues to roll in this 7-7 game, and Cincinnati bidding to take the lead.
You see Sam White signaling in plays to Boomer Esiason. Now Boomer's going to take that play from White, spread it around the team, and then when Boomer gets under center, he's going to check that defense and see if this play is compatible to it. If not, Esiason will take it upon himself to change it to a better play.
That's the play clock on the left. Flags down, and the Eagles indicating a false start by one of the Bengal offensive linemen. Let's see.
That'd be an early false start.
Yeah.
Boomer hadn't even gotten under center yet.
That's what McGee's saying.
False start on the offense. Number 76 prior to the snap. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Kirk Scrafford, backup tackle, called for the false start.
Well, he's on the right side. I know he's anxious. Reggie White's over his head over there, and there's a little bit of intimidation, you might say. When you're going against one of the best defensive ends in all of the league, you're concerned, and Scrafford that time may have lost his concentration. White may have just moved a hair, and that's when Scrafford probably got in motion and jumped a bit, and blame it all on that number 92. It's his fault, not Scrafford's.
Now the Bengals in a situation they don't want to be in. 3rd and 12 against this Philadelphia rush. And Esiason feels the rush and goes down in the face of it. Reggie White in for the sack.
Well, this play it surely took the Bengals out of field goal range. They may have had a front or a chance. I was looking at defensive front, may have had a chance to kick the field goal, but here it's just relentless pressure up front by Brown and Reggie White coming from the left side of the screen.
Reggie White, a dominant defensive player, one of the best to ever suit up in the NFL. Since 1985, more sacks than any other player in the league. Even in counting LT, Richard Dent, Bruce Smith, all those great names, Reggie White better than any of them, and 10 sacks for him during 1991.
6'5", 285 pounds whenever he's stripped on the scale, folks, and he can run. I mean, he's relentless, he's fast, he's quick, he's got the enthusiasm. Maybe the best defensive end in the game.
Twice led the NFL in sacks. Had 18 back in 1988 and an NFL record 21 in 1987. Remember the 86 Pro Bowl? He was MVP then and has been to the Pro Bowl 5 straight times. Bengals taking a delay of game. The 5-yard mark-off makes it a little easier perhaps for Johnson to down the ball before it reaches the end zone. Here's Lee Johnson and Rod Harris. Cincinnati unable to take advantage of the Eagle turnover, now giving up the ball. High kick by Johnson. Harris is going to let it bounce, and it goes to the 5-yard line and down there. Second time today, Johnson has had one downed at the 5. Eagles backed up when we return. Jim McMahon has wobbled a little bit today, and the Cincinnati defense has been up to stopping the Eagles so far.
I like that. I like that little red cross on his headband.
Yeah,
there,
that's appropriate, isn't it? I wonder who his medical insurer is. He's been barred.
I wonder what the premium would be.
Yeah, right. Byers and Joseph behind Jim McMahon. Backed up to their own 5-yard line. Joseph tries to lug it out and gets only 2 yards.
James Francis, number 50 at the bottom of that stack, did a fine job of holding his ground. They've asked Francis to play a couple of positions in a couple of ways this season. Francis wants to be on that line rushing the passer more. He loves to get in there and have a chance to chase the passer. Sometimes they put him in a 3-point stance down on the line of scrimmage, but this is one fine linebacker right here.
Francis, the former football and basketball player at Baylor. Nick LeBeau, his defensive coordinator. Francis, in fact, had a unique distinction. He played in 2 bowl games, the NCAA basketball tournament and the NIT tournament. Byers in motion. McMahon. Pass complete. Byers had to go to the turf to make the reception and then could only scramble for another yard or so before he was covered by Leo Barker. Here's the Hertz 10-minute ticker. Nick Lowry with his second field goal has given Kansas City a 3-point lead. Gerald Riggs has scored 2 touchdowns for the Redskins on their way to yet another win. Biasucci with a field goal has tied Chicago and Indianapolis, 10-10 there. Green Bay 21-14. Tomczak has 2 touchdown tosses. Ken O'Brien 2 touchdown passes. The Jets up 21-0. And Atlanta behind Chris Miller 33 zip on 10. Still 7-7 here at the Vet. 3:35 and counting for the 3rd quarter. Sherman stuffed at the line of scrimmage, then with some second effort, bounces forward for the Eagle first down. Great play there by Heath Sherman. Only the 2nd carry of the afternoon for Sherman, but he pounds on second effort for the first down.
A nice move to the outside picks this up. You see Francis get some penetration here, but he's being blocked nicely by Bowers. And Zander couldn't make the play when he got across there. Take another look at it. Watch number 41. Watch his block right there. You see, he just takes James Francis out of the play. Nice block by Keith Byers.
Yeah, Sherman did indeed bounce to the outside, and now Keith Byers back in as Sherman goes out. Joseph hit and dropped immediately by Alonzo Mitz. Zoe Mitz, the addition to this Cincinnati defense with a big play there. He cracked James Joseph just as soon as he got the handoff, and here's how it sounded.
I felt that up here, Tom.
You would. You have felt a couple of those in real life.
Yes, sir.
You could hear that helmet collide, and the hit was made on James Joseph for a loss of 2. Joseph has had only 14 yards rushing today. McMahon down the sideline, broken up. Intended for Calvin Williams, but good defense by the Cincinnati Bengals' David Fulcher, who's having a whale of a game in the secondary.
Once again, the pass was just a little bit late getting there. It's allowing Fulcher to close that zone area, that dead spot in the field in the double zone. You see the receiver to the outside. Had the ball been a little bit earlier, you would have seen a completion. McMahon right now looks left and then releases the ball, and by his reaction, you'll probably be able to tell that it was incomplete.
David Fulcher has a pass interception and a fumble recovery today, and that time he closed to break up the pass. 3rd down for the Eagles, 3rd and 12. Play action pass and a dump off to Byers on a screen. Byers with blockers in front across the 30. Big play for an Eagles first down. Ron Solt and Antone Davis setting up the screen for Byers.
That's it. Beautiful. Beautiful blocking out front. At least a convoy. There's Antone Davis, number 78, out in front of Byers along with Ron Solt. You see this escort? Well, you don't see much of it, but I promise you Byers was following that huge escort upfield.
There's an idea of how huge. Solt 66, Davis 78. Davis goes 325, Solt 275. Byers has 6 catches for 40 yards today. McMahon down the sideline, diving catch by Barnett. Fred Barnett Barnett says he's been a big play guy at Arkansas State. Now with the Eagles, wants the ball in a crucial situation. Good catch here.
Same kind of play, but look how McMahon puts the ball on a rope out there, and Bussey, 27, can't get to that area of the field. There's a dead area between number 22, Thomas, and Bussey in that zone, and that's what McMahon read that time and found Barnett.
Final 40 seconds of the third quarter. This Eagle drive began on the Philadelphia 5. They have a first down at the Cincinnati 45-yard line. Barnett now 108 yards receiving on 6 catches. Yep. Wide open to Williams. Calvin Williams found a seam in that Cincinnati defense. Gain of about 13 yards and another Eagle first down as Lewis Billups made the tackle. McMahon has the Eagles moving as the final seconds tick away for the third quarter. And that is the end of the third quarter of play of a 7-7 game. Back to Philadelphia after these words from your local station. Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, where the Eagles have been able to ring the bell only once today. The Cincinnati Bengals, underdogs, tied with the Philadelphia Eagles. Boomer Esiason a touchdown pass in the second quarter. Jim McMahon answering with a touchdown pass in the second. 7-7 now as we begin the fourth quarter of play. David Fulcher with a pass interception, a fumble recovery, and 2 passes defensed, leading a normally porous Cincinnati defense. But the Eagles threatening here with a first down at the Bengal 31-yard line. James Joseph. Good run by Joseph, one of his best of the day. And he takes it all the way to the 25-yard line of the Bengals. Jim Crumry chasing Joseph down.
Now watch how the Bengals will try to take the ball away from the ball carrier. You'll see, I believe it's number 94 getting in there. Williams, look at his left hand trying to yank that ball out of there away from Joseph. That's called tackling the ball, trying to create something, trying to create that fumble. There's Williams.
Joseph has gained 20 yards on 11 carries today. 2nd and 4 for Philadelphia. Eagles need to win a game like this. A game they're favored, and a tough schedule coming up. Trying to stay in the wild card hunt. Joseph pushes his blocker ahead of him. There's a penalty marker down as Joseph got only a yard. Barnett was in front. Joseph gave him a shove, but Crumry would have none of it and got through to make the tackle.
That little shove you mentioned might have been on Barnett, Tom, because he did get in there. There's 86, Kotite looking right now to see what's happening, talking things over with
Illegal
McMahon.
block in the back on the offense, number 86.
Hello.
10 yards from the line of scrimmage, still second down.
So Barnett guilty of the infraction.
Number 86 right in front of you. See, he's pushing Williams from the backside. Now, he's not allowed to do that coming from the outside. There is some clipping and blocking from the back allowed within the perimeters of that offensive line between the tackles, but Barnett coming from the outside is just not allowed to do that. He should have, he should have just left Williams alone that time and went on to block someone else.
Yeah, he was already out of the play.
Sure.
6th penalty for 45 yards against the Eagles sets up a 2nd and 14. And flags fly again.
You see, you're hurting yourself here. The Eagles are hurting themselves with the penalties. Now they're backing up. They're getting out of field goal range for sure. And they've got to make.
Full start, number 73 offense prior to the snap. 5 yards, still second down.
Now they're going to have to make up about 19 yards, Tom. There's Heller, who was called for the penalty.
Well, Rich Kotite worried that his team might be a little flat and said this is a game that you have to win against a team that has only 1 victory all season. The Eagles favored by about 9 points and unable to pull away from the Bengals today. 7-7 game with 13:30 remaining. It's now 2nd and 19 for McMahon. Goes for it all. Through the hands of Jackson.
Oh, man, that almost looked like Keith Jackson developed some alligator arms this time. I mean, short. Let's see if he extends himself and tries to get out for this pass. Oh, I don't know, Tom. It looked like he might have heard some footsteps kind of pitter-pattern.
Well, he's got a music video out these days. Keith Jackson, also known as K-Jack. This is his rap song, America. And I tell you what, if he keeps dropping them like that, he may have to turn to music. That was a catch that an all-pro tight end is supposed to make.
Well, he was concerned with that safety back there in the hole. You know, your receiver running down there, they lay him on you now and then. Watch the flea flicker.
McMahon for the end zone. Barnett. Interference.
Eric Thomas arguing his case. He had nice position. He turned around to look for the ball, but when he did, he ran into Barnett and didn't allow him to get to the ball.
Defensive pass interference, number 22. Automatic first down.
It's a shame for the Bengals in that they were in nice defensive position. Check the right side of your screen. You'll see Byers toss the ball back to McMahon, and then McMahon with excellent time gets it out there. But looky here. Boom, they collide. That's when Eric Thomas turned around to look for the ball. Right here, you see, he's looking for the ball now. He's trying to get his hands up there, but it's a good break for the Eagles.
That ball hit him right in the back, and McMahon saw the call right away.
He'll take it. Jim McMahon knows the underthrow, but he'll take it.
Sherman and Joseph in the backfield, the I formation. Joseph stopped at the 1-yard line. Mitz able to submarine, get under the legs of James Joseph, and David Grant there to help out as well. It'll be 2nd and goal for the Eagles. The ball just inside the Bengal 1-yard line.
That's Zeke Brakowski there with Richie Kotite. Old Zeke played a lot of quarterbacking in his days with Bart Starr up there at Green Bay, and he's a quarterback coach here. One of my favorite guys, Zeke.
Inside the 20, the Eagles 24 times have come away with points in 30 attempts. In the eye, the tailback Joseph dives for the score.
James Joseph goes through a nice hole. He leaves his feet to go over, but look at this huge hole right here. My goodness gracious, Tom, I believe I could have made it through that hole.
Even on those knees.
Nice blocking. One more look at it. You see the surge by the Eagles line, and there's no one in the middle of the field that's able to stop Joseph before he gets to the end zone.
3rd rushing touchdown of the season for Joseph. Ruzak's extra point is good. And the Eagles have taken the lead. It's Philadelphia 14, Cincinnati 7.
NBC Sports coverage of the National Football League is brought to you by the new Mazda. Mazda, it just feels right. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Schick Tracer, it traces every curve on your face. And by First Brands Corporation, makers of STP gas treatment.
From just outside downtown Philadelphia, Tom Hammond and Joe Namath at the Vet, where the Eagles have taken a 14-7 lead on the Bengals with a 94-yard drive in 12 plays, aided by 3 Cincinnati penalties. Ruzak to kick off. Brooks from the 5. Actually, it's James. Correction, Glenn James on the return to the 25-yard line. Tackled there by Kenny Jackson. A 20-yard return. Bengals ball when we come back. Eagles coach Rich Kotite said he wanted to keep Boomer on the sidelines today, and that last drive by the Eagles covered almost 8 minutes, and they do have a time of possession edge in the game, as you see. Bengals try to answer after the Eagles score to take the lead. Esiason's pass deflected and intercepted. Reggie White. White, like a ball hawk, collapsed on the football, and the Eagles quickly have another Bengal turnover.
Don't blame Esiason or any quarterback for this give credit to good defensive play. Reggie White's down on the field again. But watch, Esiason's going to release this ball, and one of the linemen up front is going to be able to get a hand on it, deflect it, and then a teammate's going to come in and make the interception right here. But there's White falling to the ground, holding his right knee and holding on to the ball.
Golick deflected it. White made the interception.
Reggie White, injured right knee. Folks, take a look at the replay of that right knee. That leg's going to extend itself. Now watch his hyperextension there. Yike! He gets hit in the thigh, hyperextends his right knee, and then he gets up and walks off the field. Now, is that tough or what?
Second career interception for White and the third Bengal turnover. Here's Keith Byers on a first down carry, netting a couple of yards. There's White trying to walk off the hyperextension of that right knee. His second injury of the day.
We have an injured Cincinnati Bengal down on the field now. I think it's a Bengal.
Well, they're just a little slow getting up. Byers and then Grant getting up. And let's check the Miller Genuine Draft 10-minute ticker. Look what Denver has done to Kansas City now. They had an interception return for a touchdown. It's 24-13. Broncos trying to take over the AFC West lead. Byers in motion. Joseph comes back. Looked like it might be a big gainer. Then the Cincinnati defense reacting well and pursuing to Joseph, with Fulcher and Thomas getting him down after a short gain. Let's finish that Miller Genuine Draft ticker. Chicago now finally able to break away from the Colts in Indianapolis. Oh, Minnesota's come back to tie Green Bay. Jets on their way to a much-needed win, and Atlanta big over Tampa Bay. Don't forget next week, doubleheader week on NBC. Some of you will see Kansas City against Cleveland or Houston against Pittsburgh in the big doubleheader game. The Bears against the Dolphins. All starts at 12:30 Eastern next week on NBC. McMahon on third down. Great defense. Keith Jackson, the intended receiver. And Wayne Haddix, who's been the man the Eagles have picked on all day, able to knock it away.
I'll tell you, Wayne Haddix, though, he went to the Pro Bowl last year, folks. He's a player. Right there in the middle of your screen, watch him leave his feet and get a hand out there for that ball. I don't know that he hit the ball. It didn't look like it, but he was in enough position to cause Jackson not to be able to get to it. But Haddix went to the Pro Bowl last year, held out in training camp this year with Tampa Bay, and when he came back, he wasn't playing well. They let him go. I wouldn't be surprised to see Haddix with Cincinnati for a good while.
37-yard field goal by Ruzick. His first attempt was blocked. This one on its way, and good. Ruzick extends the Eagle lead, and Thiegel's starting to mix it up with a couple of Bengals. It's odd to see the kickers in the middle of a melee.
Oh, they're tough, though. They're tough guys. I'm telling you, those kickers are tough.
Eagles now lead it by 10. Eagles have extended their lead to 10 over the Cincinnati Bengals here in the fourth quarter. And Joe, the Eagles not at the top of their game today, but it isn't the sign of a good team when you can win on an off day, which apparently is what the Eagles may do here.
Oh, no doubt. I think we're going to put that label on the Eagles. It's a good team, especially with McMahon, a quarterback. They're not playing their best ball today. They've created some turnovers. I mean, they weren't all gifts that Cincinnati gave them. So this defense of the Eagles has come on strong, and the offense has responded with the 17 points.
It has been a familiar refrain for Cincinnati, though. The turnovers have killed their chances. They've got to make a comeback from 10 down now. And the kickoff down in the end zone by Lynn James. And the Bengals will start from their own 20-yard line.
Esiason has his work cut out for him now, being 10 points down, going against this Eagle defense. I mean, the Eagles know that Esiason's going to have to start throwing that ball, and they're going to turn loose that rush. There's a comparison right now of today's work between the two, and certainly McMahon has the edge.
Reggie White hyperextended his knee. He's out of the lineup, replaced by Andy Harmon. 6'4", 265 pounds, a rookie from Kent, a sixth-round draft choice. Esiason pumps once and then goes down at the 10. Clyde Clyde Simmons with another sack. Simmons told us yesterday that he's healthy. That's why he's been so good in the sack department, second in the NFL, and that's the Eagles' 4th sack of the day.
Well, Clyde Simmons would tell you this is a coverage sack. Munoz has him on the outside, goes down to cut him finally, and Esiason just can't find anybody downfield. Simmons, with his relentless rush, the second effort, gets back there to make the sack. But old Clyde will tell you, hey, that was good coverage downfield, fellas.
2 sacks today gives Simmons 11 for the season as Boomer goes to the sideline. Simmons took him down at the 10. Here's the way it developed. Just bowled him over.
I don't know what's happened, but Boomer's definitely shaken up a little bit. I'd guess it might be his left hand. He seems to be holding it and looking at the left hand.
Well, the Bengals backup quarterback, of course, is Eric Wilhelm.
You know, if you're a left-hander, your throwing motion is not going to be as good when you injure that left hand. And unfortunately, you see Hollis.
That's right.
Has come into the game, which surprises me a bit, Tom.
Yeah, Wilhelm, the normal backup, but Donald Hollis, the rookie from Rice, 4th-round draft pick, is in the game for the Bengals. He's hit 3 of 9 passes on the season.
Gosh, you know he's not warmed up. And then to come into the game and have to start getting this offense going against this defense, hey, it's a tough order for the young Hollis.
From his own 11-yard line, it's 2nd and 19. Hollis will pass. And complete the pass to the 30-yard line. What a clutch performance by the rookie Hollis, who spots Reggie Rembert for a Bengal reception and first down.
Excellent technique, good drop. He gets up on the balls of his feet, delivers the ball perfectly on balance. Nice going, nice pass by Hollis.
Hollis was honorable mention All-American twice at Rice. A good rusher and passer for the Owls, as Boomer Esiason is tended to on the sideline. And Hollis was a defensive back at Rice as a freshman and a sophomore. In fact, was second-team All-Southwest Conference as a defensive back twice. Moved to quarterback. And now at the controls for the Bengals. Got to get it off in a hurry. And he tried too hard to get it off. That'll be a legal procedure against Cincinnati. He saw the play clock ticking down, Joe, and tried to rush it.
Yeah, I think Munoz jumped a bit.
Full start, number 78 offense, prior to the snap, 5 yards, still first down.
So Munoz caused the penalty, but actually it was the play clock running down that caused the whole sequence to be fouled up for Weiss's offense.
Problem that Hollis has right now is he doesn't get a chance to work a lot in practice during the week. Esiason has had his arm hurt a little bit, so Hollis may have gotten more work. But normally the backup quarterback is running the other team's plays and doesn't get to run much of his own offense.
Bad news for Hollis. Reggie White is back in the game. Complete pass to the tight end Riggs. Riggs across the 30 to the 32-yard line, tackled by Byron Evans. There's Boomer with ice on his left hand.
That's not a good sign right there, because I know this man is tough. He's taken a lot of hits in his professional career, and he's never quit. He's always come back fighting, and when he's holding his left hand like that, you can believe something isn't working properly.
He's through for the day. He's heading for the locker room. Hollis, another reception for a first down. Hollis drilled that one right on the money. Hollis to McGee, and the youngster has the Bengals moving.
Well, he's got great technique, or very good technique anyway. He gets back in the pocket quickly. His throwing motion is efficient. I mean, the guy looks pretty good. I'm surprised, Tom. This is the first time I've seen this young man out there in action, and he's very impressive to this point.
Well, can't get any better than perfect. 3 for 3 and 2 first downs. Boomer's bruised left hand. He's being taken to the locker room for x-rays. Brooks back to the line of scrimmage and ripped down by Jerome Brown. There's Boomer on his way for the x-rays of that left hand, his throwing hand. So Donald Hollis being inserted into the game in place of the regular backup, Eric Wilhelm. And here is how Boomer was injured on the sack by Clyde Simmons.
Let's see if they fall on on his hand, or it's tucked up underneath there right now. We're not going to get a good view of it.
2nd and 10 for Hollis and the Bengals. Eagles lead by 10. 6.5 minutes left. Brooks makes the catch, then out of bounds. Gain of 5 to the Bengal 45-yard line. Seth Joyner chased him out, and Hollis still has not misfired. 4th-round draft pick out of Rice. He was twice a member of the Southwest Conference academic team. In fact, had a triple major at Rice: political science, management studies, and human performance.
You know, though, Tom, if you're the Eagle defense, you don't do anything strange here right now. Make Hollis beat you. He's hot right now, but can he stay hot enough to overcome?
The ruling on the field is completed pass. The play is being reviewed.
Can Hollis stay hot enough to overcome this 10-point deficit? I think that they should put the burden on that quarterback, not necessarily blitz him to give him the one-on-one downfield. Make him earn every bit of it.
After further review, the play stands as called.
Both feet, left foot, right foot, left foot. My goodness, he did a little dance over there.
How many do you need? Hollis now facing a 3rd down. He's hit all 4 of his passes. Bengals have converted only 3 of 9 first downs in the game. Hollis steps up. Another completion for a first down. Caddis rambles into Eagle territory to the 35-yard line. Izell Jenkins chased him out there, but Hollis strikes again.
Watch how he steps up in the pocket. Watch how he stays calm here. He doesn't have his receivers initially, and there's some pressure from the backside by Simmons. He throws the ball off balance out to the right. Caddis is there. Tell you, this number 12 out there, Tom, is awful impressive. Let's take a look at this once again. You see Hollis step up and then throw the ball to his right while his body's going left. Nice play.
Boy, poised, too, by the rookie. Bengals driving behind the rookie quarterback Hollis on the play action here. Evades the rush and scrambles forward. Hollis to the 24-yard line. Where has he been?
Can't say enough about this young man to this point. He makes this play work. He doesn't have a receiver. He doesn't have much pass protection. I mean, it breaks down here. You can see he's being pressured. Now, if he plays some more, he's going to start sliding. He's not going to want to take on 59 Seth Joyner very often in this position. But give that young man credit. Boy, he's giving it his all, and he's pushing the right buttons right now.
5 minutes left. Bengals down by only 10. Hollis has them moving. First down at the 24 of the Eagles.
The passes from the right-hander doesn't seem to have any bad effect to these receivers. Going to have to call timeout.
And he does with 1 second left on the play clock.
Timeout, Cincinnati. That's their first team timeout.
Hollis, the youngster, has the Bengals moving. 17-7, 10-point lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. 4:50 left. And Donald Hollis calling a timeout there as the play clock had ticked down to only 1 second. Hollis, replacing the injured Boomer Esiason, has not missed on a pass yet. 5 for 5, 58 yards. First down play, Cincinnati. Hollis lost that one for Brooks, and it's intercepted. Hopkins picked it off for Philadelphia, his second interception of the day. And Hollis finally makes a mistake. He put it up for grabs, and Hopkins grabbed it.
Well, Wes Hopkins back there in excellent shape. He goes 6'1", and James Brooks is 5'10". You could see Hopkins out-jump Brooks for this pass right now. That's where that 6'1" edge comes into play. Nice going by Hopkins. Once again, it's up there for grabs, but the height of Hopkins enables him to make the big play.
And his momentum carried him into the end zone for the touchback, so the Eagles will get it at their own 20. Hollis, though, showed a lot of potential as Randall Cunningham congratulates Hopkins on his second pickoff of the day. Hollis, though, showed some spark for Cincinnati.
He certainly did. Right now, though, if you're the Eagles, you're going to run the football, wear the clock down with a 10-point lead. They've stopped play on the field.
I guess they're reviewing it.
We're all wondering why they've stopped play.
Let me give you an update on that big game, Denver and Kansas City. Steve DeBerg of the Chiefs ineffective all day. In fact, he's tossed 4 interceptions. So Mark Vlasic has come on for the Chiefs. He hit Tim Barnett with an 8-yard pass for a touchdown, and Denver's lead reduced to 24-20 over Kansas City. First down play, and yes, the Eagles will run it, Joe. This is James Joseph to the 25-yard line, where he's tackled by Tim Krumrie. We'll update you on all the scores. There's that Denver-Kansas City score. The Broncos still up by 4. Pittsburgh's come back a little bit, but too little too late against the unbeaten Redskins. Chicago finally building that lead against the underdog Colts, who were trying to win 2 in a row. Minnesota has come from behind to lead Green Bay. Patriots are on the board, but the Jets still with a big lead, and Atlanta having one of its best offensive showings of the season behind Chris Miller and Andre Rison. Second and 4, as you see. Joseph hit behind the line and bulldogged down at the 20-yard line by Alonzo Mitz.
If you're wondering why I say stay with the running game right now, if you're Philadelphia, you do have a 10-point lead. There's 3 minutes and 52 left in the game, and it appears Cincinnati's trying to save some of that clock right now. So Kotite realizes with the lead, the clock being a major factor, he's not going to do anything risky.
Cincinnati calling the timeout to stop the clock, and it's been a season of controversy for Sam Weiss, arguing with the officials. Some said he might have lost control of his team. What about his job? Is it secure? Here's what he said about being head coach of the Bengals.
Sometimes a very good coach isn't the right person for that particular assignment. And so he belongs somewhere else for the good of the team and for the good of the coach. And those evaluations will be made and are being made. And in 1987, the same evaluation was made, and the conclusion was a change would be the wrong thing to do. The next year, we won more games than anybody in the National Football League.
Sam told me yesterday that the decision will be made either by the club or by him about coming back next season. That's Boomer returning to the field after the x-rays. He said all indications he had gotten from Mike Brown were that no change would be made. James Joseph again thrown for a loss on a 3rd down play. David Grant gets credit for that first hit. And the Eagles will have to punt. Tim Krumrie in there to get a piece of the tackle, and there's Boomer.
Cincinnati stopped the clock once again. Boomer's still carrying that ice pack on his hand, so definitely a problem. I don't know what the results of the x-rays are yet, but when we get them, folks, we'll let you know.
Cincinnati has spent its final timeout with 3:46 left. Boomer obviously through for the day, regardless of what the x-rays may show.
No timeouts, right for them?
And Donald Hollis, we would presume, will get another chance at the Bengal quarterback spot. Hope you'll stay with us tonight. NBC Prime Time starts at 7 with the adventures of Mark and Brian. Then the weirdest show on television, Erie, Indiana. That's at 7:30 Eastern Time. Night Court comes your way at 8 o'clock. Then at 9 o'clock, Sunday Night at the Movies. Tonight featuring Back to the Future 3.
I'll be looking at that. Yeah, Michael J. Fox playing. Uh-oh, look, wait a minute, look what happened down here.
Fumbled snap. Feagles tried to kick it while it was on the turf. And it's recovered at the 20-yard line with penalty markers down.
Feagles upset with himself, obviously. We'll take another look at it to see if he could have avoided this thing, but he sure is upset.
You can't kick the ball while it's laying on the turf.
All right, take a look here. Feagles gets the ball, drops the ball, trying to pick it up. Oops, you're not allowed to do that part of it. They had some people downfield by the time he kicked it.
Kicking the ball, number 5 of the offensive team. The penalty is refused. First down.
Feagles is upset because the snap was right there. He obviously took his eye off the ball, or he just out and out dropped it, but he's given these Bengals new life.
Fiegels muffed the snap from center. Bad mistake by Fiegels because it gives Cincinnati the ball just inside the Eagle 20. Remember now, the Bengals with no timeouts, down by 10 and 3:39 on the clock. It's Hollis back at quarterback. Hollis is sacked by Simmons at the 30. No, it's Jerome Brown. Brown with a sack. 5th sack of the day by the Philadelphia defense.
Big play by Brown. Just when that defense needs a big play, Brown shoots through the offensive line right there on the left between 2 men. My goodness, there was no chance. I mean, Brown just sprinted off the ball.
Hollis this time has protection and tosses it to Barber, who's out of bounds after a short gain. Sam Weiss trying to conjure up a play that can get the Bengals in the end zone. Trail by 10.
Sam's trying to find a play that is going to work against that tough pressure that the Eagles are sending. Maybe let them get sucked upfield and drop it off on a screen. Maybe suck them upfield and run a draw play through there somehow. With Hollis's ability, I wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback draw.
Completes the pass back to the original line of scrimmage, the 20. Reggie Rembert on the catch. Forced out of bounds by Eric Allen.
You know, folks, you got to remember this is a 10-point difference. Cincinnati can settle for the field goal if they have nothing else on 4th down. If it's too long, they can go for the 3. There's another injured player or 2 on the field.
It's Anthony Munoz again down for Cincinnati. 2nd injury of the day. Had a hip pointer earlier.
Boy, I had a hip pointer once in college, Tom. I sneezed and I went right to the ground. Took me down. I mean, it was so painful I couldn't even stand. These things are awful painful. Right on that bone, you know, where your hip is, and there's a bone there. What you do is you get a good hit on it, and it irritates that bone, and it just hurts.
There's Munoz being tended to for the 2nd time today. This looks like his right knee.
It's checking that knee out. That's worse.
Coming up next, the Head & Shoulders NFL post-game reports. Costas, Parcells, O.J., McDonough bring you up to date on all the action around the league today. Coming up next at the conclusion of this game.
Yeah, they may have fallen on his leg. You know, let's take another look. Maybe we'll see what happens to Munoz on the left side, top of the screen, 78 with his back to us. You see, boy, his legs get tangled up. Yike, he's falling back. Sure, somebody fell on the back of his leg. Awful painful. You know, you mentioned Back to the Future 3, Tom. That's one of my... I like that Back to the Future. Christopher Lloyd, of course, Dr. Emmett Brown is a trip, and Marty McFly and Michael J. Fox. I'll be watching that thing because it's a lot of fun.
Coming up later tonight, 9 o'clock on NBC. Boomer and Sam discussing things. Boomer, bruised left hand. Sam Weiss has his field goal unit on the field, trying to cut the deficit to only 7. Breach. The play stopped before the kick got underway. Apparently, I don't know what happened. I didn't hear a whistle, but the play will be ruled no good. And Sam has had his share of disagreements with the officials this year.
Well, that ball went through the uprights. I mean, that would have been good, the field goal. That's why Sam's upset. And the Bengals need 2 scores. They needed a field goal or 2 touchdowns, a field goal and a touchdown anyway. So with the long yardage situation, Coach White is going for the field goal now. I wouldn't be surprised to see onside kick coming up next, and the Bengals trying to recover it to take it in for the tie. But that field goal attempt went through the uprights.
It's a 38-yard attempt by Jim Breach.
Why did they stop play, Tom? They haven't marched off a penalty at all.
No, I don't know.
Haven't even told us what happened.
Breach from the hold by Johnson. And it didn't matter. This one good as well as Breach kicks it through. As the Bengals take advantage of the mistake by Fiegels. the punter for the Eagles, who fumbled the snap from center. Cincinnati got it and converted it to 3 points, and now trail by 7.
I think we're going to see Sam Weich's bunch attempt an onside kick here, and I'm sure that these Philadelphia Eagles are going to be deployed expecting the short kick.
This telecast, presented by authority of the National Football League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of the telecast without the express written consent of the Philadelphia Eagles and the National Football League is prohibited. This game, the property of the National Football League, Cincinnati Bengals and Philadelphia Eagles, all rights reserved. There's Fiegels. His mistake led to the Cincinnati field goal, and now the Bengals within 7. And the call on the sidelines is for the hands team, as the onside kick expected. Bengals with no timeouts left. We understand now, Tommy Roy, our producer, telling us that the field goal was re-kicked. The first one not allowed because the injured Cincinnati player, Anthony Munoz, hadn't completely cleared the field when the first one was sent on its way.
Where is he going to kick the ball? Breach is going to kind of run this ball along the ground. That's a unique way of teeing the ball up.
Yeah, not teeing it up, as a matter of fact. Just resting against the tee. Here we go. Onside kick. Breach has to go 10 yards, remember, and the Eagles have it.
Perfect bounce. Perfect bounce for the Eagles.
Kenny Jackson. We said the hands team was going to be out there, and Kenny Jackson, the veteran wide receiver, pounced on it.
Watch the ball just bounce right up into Jackson's arm. Sure, he catches it even before the 10 yards, which he is certainly allowed to do. He doesn't have to stay back there and wait until the ball travels 10 yards. The offense may go ahead and attack it or receive it inside that area. Nice going, Kenny Jackson. A nice bounce, I might add.
The Bengals cannot stop the clock. No timeouts remaining. Some of the Phillies would like for as good a bounce as that off the AstroTurf when they play here.
They'll need more than some good bounces, Tom, for the Phillies to get back in it.
You're right. Man hands to Joseph. To the line of scrimmage and no more. David Grant made the tackle. Now down to 3 minutes left in the game. Still 24-20 in Kansas City in the battle for the AFC West lead. Washington still unbeaten, and Chicago breaking away in a close game against the Colts. Minnesota's come from behind to lead by 7. New England has put 14 on the board to close within a touchdown of the Jets. And a big win for Atlanta.
You know, New England and Indianapolis both, they're different teams now. They're fighting to the end. I mean, they're hanging in there. They're in the hunt, especially New England in several games this year. Coach McPherson has done a fine job.
And what about the Bengals? Are they still fighting after you've seen them in action today?
I think they're fighting. I think these guys are trying hard. Sure, they just hurt themselves. They try hard throughout the week. At least Munoz, Esiason, Mitch, and James Francis all convinced me they're out there giving it everything they have and doing practice too.
Joseph on the carry to the 40 of the Bengals as we reach the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the game from the vet in Philadelphia, with the Eagles leading the Bengals by 7. Rich Kotite and his Eagles needed this one to stay alive in the race for an NFC wildcard berth. They lead by 7 over Weich's Bengals with 2 minutes left in the game, and Cincinnati out of timeouts.
It wasn't so long ago, though, when the Eagles were playing the Giants a few years back, and the Giants attempted a handoff in this kind of situation. The Eagles picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown. So I'm sure these Eagle fans, oh, I don't believe this at all.
McMahon passing, and it's incomplete on 3rd down, and the Bengals are going to get the ball back. Carl Zander broke up that pass intended for Keith Byers, and with 1:56, the Eagles will get a ball back to the Bengals with only a 7-point lead.
Boy, that was such a good call, Tom. It fooled me. I'll tell you, I would have had to kept it on the ground and kept the clock running, you know, but instead McMahon goes back to throw. Eagles feel like there should be interference. You folks tell me
Oh, he was wrapped up all over him. Yeah.
Certainly could have called interference on that play. The Bengals get away with one now. They're going to try to block this punt, and Fiegels has to concentrate on catching the ball first.
Muffed the snap from center last time, and the Bengals converted it into a field goal. Nobody deep for Cincinnati. Eagles skies it, and it reaches the end zone on the fly. So the Bengals will get the ball at their own 20-yard line, trailing only by 7 points. 1:46 left and no timeouts. And the rookie Donald Hollis at quarterback.
And Hollis has 1:46 left to work. No timeouts. I know that's not a lot of time, but the way Hollis has been throwing, he's giving his guys a chance. I tell you, that last pass attempt by the Eagles really did fool me. They could have run off another 30 seconds, 40 seconds anyway.
Hollis has been sharp. 7 of 8. Boomer Esiason 10 of 18 before bruising his left hand and leaving the game. Pressure on Hollis. Sacked at the 10-yard line. Mike Pitts reached him first, and that is 6 sacks today for the Eagles.
Pitts just blows by the rookie in there. I believe it's Mike Arthur in the game right now for the Bengals, and Pitts just got by him to make the play.
Clock ticks away. Second down. Hollis throws it way downfield. That's a wounded duck and knocked down by the Eagles. Rich Miano knocking down the pass intended for Lynn James.
You see, quack, 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 quack. That's what my guys used to do to me out at practice when I threw those things, man. Get turned end over end. Hollis just didn't release the ball as cleanly as he wanted. He has 2 downs now. The Bengals have 2 downs to pick up the 19 or 20 yards they need. All right, call it 18. There, 18, 19, 20.
Hollis chased by the Eagle pressure. And now scrambles out of bounds at the 20.
Well, he gave it every chance he could, Tom. I mean, this guy is showing me some poise, too. Not only good technique, not only good passing ability and scrambling ability, but nice poise.
It'll be 4th down for Cincinnati. Hollis has scrambled twice and gained 22 yards. We have a chance to thank our teammates today, spotters Bill Friel and Mike McKay, and Rich Eisenman on stats. Donald Hollis with a 4th down attempt. He needs about 9 yards to retain possession of the football. Flags down. The Bengals move too soon. That'll set them back 5 yards.
Well, the rookie Mike Arthur from Texas A&M's in at right guard for Sam Weish, and he moved. The right side moved.
Full start, number 65, prior to the snap, still 4th down.
5th penalty, 64 yards against Cincinnati today.
Number 65, the rookie Mike Arthur. I mean, he's got some heat up going against him. He's a little anxious, and he can't hear the snap count, so he just moved a little early that time.
Weiss still encouraging his players. 4th and 14, Cincinnati from their own 16-yard line. The Eagles lead by 7. 1:19 left in the game. Pass by Hollis is incomplete, and the Eagles will take over. Tim McGee, the intended receiver. Weiss on his knees trying to coax that reception, but it was not to be, and the Eagles will win. They'll take over. The Bengals can no longer stop the clock.
You take a look at Sam Weish there, and I know they're talking about his job, whether he's going to be there next year or not. I tell you, if he's not with the Bengals, there are a lot of teams around this league would love to have Sam Weish. This guy has changed the game of football to a degree with his no-huddle offense and his innovative style, and as a coach, I think he's terrific. It's the guys on the field that still have to get it done, and the Bengals, as a unit, special teams, offense, defense, just haven't done it this season. I think Sam's kept this team together, too, Tom. I know the players take it upon themselves to keep together, but there hasn't been any in-house fighting, so to speak, of, and the practices have still been good, but today is Philadelphia's day.
McMahon takes a knee to get the clock rolling, and Cincinnati can't stop it. Here's our Canon camcorder replay of the game. Jim McMahon Couple of touchdown passes today. The big plays by the offense, few and far between. But this pass by McMahon right on target. Calvin Williams in the corner of the end zone. And once again, McMahon will lead the Eagles to victory.
My favorite part of the game, what I remember of it, Tom, is having this kind of lead with only 30 seconds left and the other team not having any timeouts. This was fun.
And that'll do it. So the Eagles on a subpar afternoon win a game that they had to win to keep alive for that wild card berth. And Sam Weiss, proud of the effort his Bengals gave. They were in the game, but they will come up a little short. The employee owners of Avis now salute the game's MVP, and will give it to the Eagles defensive line with 6 sacks this afternoon. They'll be the winner of our Avis We Try Harder Award. Avis, the official car rental company of the NFL. Jerome Brown and his fellow members of the Eagle defensive line sacking Cincinnati quarterbacks 6 times this afternoon, preserving the victory for the Philadelphia Eagles. So the Eagles now go to 6-5 on the season, still alive in the wild card berth and facing 3 straight games on the road. And the Cincinnati Bengals now 1-10 on the season. Eagles win it 17-10 here at the Vet in Philadelphia. Now stay tuned for the Head and Shoulders NFL post-game report coming up next. Tom Hammond for Joe Namath saying so long from Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia.